champagne, purple cups and 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 champagne, champagne.
Ladies and ugly men, welcome to Purple Cups and Champagne. I'm your host, Handsome Contreras.
What's going on, everybody? Security John Chetty, a.k.a. the Brown Pad Rowley.
What's going on? Josh Robles, FA The Product, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud. I said Robles because I heard him sound like professional. I can't be left. I know, but I don't like the Robles part. I'm just Josh.
Riley?
I feel like I want to be relatable.
As you hear another voice on the mic and on camera, those watching, we got my man Chris here. Present yourself, buddy.
Hello, Chris Viso from Queens here, retired, but not for long.
Retired. Young man retired.
Not for long.
Retired. How old are you?
We got a little secret here. Now I'm 33. I retired when I was 32.
This guy's retired at 32.
That's wild.
32, yeah.
That's wild.
And we got the number one fan here.
I was going to say, we have one more for
Oh, Kevin's here. My bad.
Guys, he does exist.
Without him, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
For sure.
This is Chris's Chetty.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's our Chetty.
Yeah. It's been very confusing the last couple weeks.
Yes.
Referring to one another.
Spider-Man meme, right?
Vin was explaining something the other day, and he said Kevin, and I was like, who? I even forgot. I was shit.
Yeah, Vin will be on camera later on. You know what I mean? He's here. He's ready. He's waiting. All silent.
He's bringing in the closer.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what we got in place here, bro.
So obviously we're going to start the show with the traditional pop.
Pop.
Yep. There you go.
Ooh, damn.
I'm going to need some of that.
Good job.
Pass that rule.
Yes, thanks for joining us, Chris, Kev. You know, this is
of course, man.
long time coming. Kev, you supported us for a long time as well, so we appreciate that. You got a haircut today? Is that why you were able? Ladies and gentlemen, before we
bring the excuses.
Before we get to Chris, my cousin Kevin, I've invited him to the show plenty of times, and then I don't know, he would just say I don't got a haircut. Then one time he's got work. Like, what's more important than Purple Cups and Champagne, Kevin?
That's a very good question.
It could only take something as big as what we're announcing tonight.
It has to be something important.
What a perfect answer.
It has to be something important.
I thought you were going to be cool and be like, yo, Chris is my man.
That's a good answer.
That's a good answer. Bigger than that. It's bigger than friendship.
It's bigger than friendship. And we're live from Queens Bully, by the way.
Hey, listen, man, I don't know what you're going on here. There's nothing in this cup.
He gave your phone.
I'm going to do a lot more than that. You want me to talk on?
Yo, don't be letting the secrets out.
I'm going to do a lot more than that.
Here's how we keep it to a one bottle per show.
On the budget.
We be sipping fakeness after
I'm rationing.
I'm going to need that liquid courage. That's what I'm going to need.
Cheers to episode 102.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Live from
Thanks for being here,
Queens
man.
Bully.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was really good.
That was very rosy.
All right.
You notice that
Rose.
we purposely put them in the middle because they have no excuse to put their cup down. Product placement.
I like that.
So I'm gonna
Always thinking ahead.
I'm gonna post like 80 pictures of y'all with purple cups.
I got the purple cups and the purple pants.
Yes,
Good job.
You understood the assignment? Thanks, Kev.
Yeah.
He was
Listen, he's sitting here,
the red
right?
cup.
That's
the
all
red
we
cup
can do.
show. He's an op.
Exactly.
We got an op here.
I don't even know that reference.
Dog, let me tell you something, man. Any party you're at, anywhere you're at, if they don't have purple cups, ask for a glass cup. Just be like, yo,
may as well not get any color if you're not gonna
we have
get
a little
the
bit of an
red
inside joke. Like, if we see one of each other at a barbecue with a red cup in that, we'll try to get a picture so we can like frame each other, right?
Yeah.
But he will literally he'll be like, nah, I'll take a glass. He'll go to your parents and I'll have that same glass at the barbecue the whole time.
It's like his equivalent of a glizzy.
Yeah. You see somebody with you three balls.
That's how serious he takes it.
I ain't catching me with the glizzy cup.
Oh man.
So Chris, tell us about yourself, man.
Yeah, let's get to it, man.
Because you're retired.
I am
Retired
retired.
from?
Retired. So,
Well, give me a background on you first.
yeah, the reason why I even came with you guys, and like I said, I appreciate you having me on. It means a lot to me. I'm being from Queens, I haven't been back in a while. You know, I took been in and out for 10 years now. I've been in Miami.
Wow,
And I grew up here my entire life.
Queens
So-
kid.
Yeah. And I left when I was 21 and moved to Miami, started a little career. I thought of it as going to college. You know what I mean? I did my own college because
That's dope.
I didn't even graduate high school. So for me, it was like sort of my experience. And we were growing up. We were visiting all of our friends in Albany and going here and there. And he was in college, and Vin was in college. And so this was my experience for myself. And I just started working instead. And I Listen, I had the time of my life.
So real life was in college.
So you took your talents to South Beach when you were 21.
I took my talents before LeBron.
Always find a way to bring it back.
Before LeBron.
Always find a way to bring it back.
He was the trailblazer.
I
He
was,
said before
yeah,
LeBron.
before LeBron.
LeBron copied it.
That guy knows what he's doing. He was watching.
Wait a second. I know I should be going
Good
there.
idea, yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, what inspired you to go to South Beach? Obviously,
So
I
it's a
can
good
think,
story.
but yeah.
I went to Miami with a couple friends I was playing basketball with. You know, we played basketball at the gym and a couple leagues.
So you're an athlete.
Yeah.
That's important. To know.
Yeah, very. My whole entire life, we were all athletes. That's why Chetty's sitting here. We've been playing ball. Every sport in the world we played at all times. Before I left New York, I was in a football league, a basketball league, a softball league, anything I can play. And we were playing every day of the week. Like literally up until the day I left. Ben will tell the story later that after I left, the day I was leaving, I had my going away party, and we had a championship flag football game, and I was the quarterback. And I didn't even show up because I was still hungover. That was my going away party.
Blowing your phone up.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, he's never going to let me live that down. So that's actually that part of my life was missing when I moved to Miami, and I'm here now, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to get back into it.
Yeah.
I'm a born athlete, literally
Right.
my entire life. So it was nice. It's nice now to be back here and be with everybody and be in places and our good friend Siraj owns this place and it's amazing.
Yeah.
100%,
Queens Willies is something that I would love to be at and love to be involved with and love to support. So the first thing I did is when me and John were talking about this is like I want to do it. I want to do it in Queens Billy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
That
only one
was a
place that he
staple.
wanted to do. It was Queens Bully.
I want to get the whole example. I want to get
Yeah,
everybody here. I want to
Absolutely.
get the podcast from Queens. I want to get the family involved. You know what I mean? I want to make sure
Absolutely.
that we're all supporting each other. That's a big part of me coming back home now.
Dope.
I just confirmed earlier today I'm staying for the summer. I'll be in New York all summer.
Nice.
Very
go.
nice.
At least until September. At least. But I have a feeling it's going to be a little longer than that.
Nice.
Have you found the gym membership yet?
I have.
Okay,
So,
good. Because
the
I can
greatest-
tell you.
once in a while.
Yeah.
Once in a while. The best part about being home is I'm staying close to the neighborhood now. And
Dope.
I'm going to our gym that we grew up with our whole entire lives.
Oh,
The
nice.
reason why we're athletes is that gym. Like I was working out in that gym when I was 15 years old, playing against the old geezers in basketball on the court.
We're
Right.
sneaking in the
Yeah,
back.
we were
sneaking
on
in
the
back
phone and
door.
he was like, "Hold on one second, hey man." Like,
yeah.
Right away, yeah. It's been a
Still
long
bumping into
time.
people. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
But it's
Every
nice
single
when you
while.
see that. So imagine coming
sure.
back home after 10 years and then going to the gym you grew up in and then people recognizing you and chopping it up a little
Right.
bit.
That's dope.
You can't beat that shit.
I mean, I'm sure you've changed a lot in that time. So coming back to that, kind of, you find yourself in that time. I'm sure.
Yeah,
with that kind of-
yeah. And you come back now and it's like, in my head, I'm a totally different person.
Yeah.
But you come back home and you relive the past every single
They
day.
remember
Exactly.
that, Chris.
Yeah,
exactly.
they do.
Which does exist, obviously. That's
No,
what
yeah,
you're-
it's
exactly,
it's definitely a part of me.
Yeah, exactly.
It made the man I am today. So moving back to Miami, I mean, even when I was here, I was in hospitality. I was a server everywhere I went. I was just trying to make my money, waiting tables and actually being a busser. When I was 16, I was working with Danny Meyer in the city, just being like an event guy, walking around with a tray. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I ended up working at Hula Hands and the normal jobs that we had that thought we were making money.
But you know what though, all that stuff, and we'll get to it soon. But like all that stuff probably made you like I'm sure you
100%.
absorb. You meet, you know how to work, deal with people and stuff like that.
it's
So that's that.
And honestly, the best thing in my life was the people and the people interactions that I've had and the way that I can interact with other people. And like also, Chetty, you remember this? I was running pizzerias. Like I was a delivery driver when I was 18. I was delivering pizzas for a long time. And I loved it. Like I was making like $60 a day, and I was balling out. I was balling out.
money, yeah.
Yeah, I had two cars. Like I had a little Saturn that I would deliver cars in. I had a little Escalade that I drive that was nothing. You know what I mean? But I was cool. I thought I was.
You were doing it.
I was
At
trying.
that age, you were doing it.
Exactly. I was trying.
Yeah.
I was trying my best. And then at 19, I was the manager of a little pizzeria in where was it? Manhasset. And
Right. I think we had a couple of our friends that worked for.
I think so. Yeah,
right?
I think so. We had a lot of our friends that worked there, and it was a disaster. It was a disaster. It really was. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was, but it was fun. I mean,
Wait. How old were you managing this place?
19.
Jeez.
Wow.
19, yeah. I was. They shouldn't have done that. That was a bad idea. Because I didn't even have my own place yet, and I had the keys to this place. So this was my house.
Right.
And it was in a nice neighborhood, so I was I had some fun at night. You know, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Our boys would get in the orders, the delivery orders. They were not putting that shit in the system. Going picking it up, taking that
Straight
money.
cash.
Right?
Yeah,
And they wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me. These are my own boys.
He
that I
was
hired.
management, yo.
Yeah, they're like, you got it. You understand.
Yeah.
You understand.
Well, now I
Yeah.
get it. But back then they were hiding it from me for the whole time.
He was
That was me at the coffee beanery.
Jeez, yeah, I know.
I used to do the same thing, man.
And then after they would tell me, he's like, I was stealing from there for 2.5 years. Right?
He was the man at that
Good job,
time.
manager.
I know. Right? I was like, shit. And I had no idea either. I swear, they got me.
Yeah,
They got me for sure. I had zero idea. So that kind of got me into it. And then when I moved to Miami, I started working in like the bigger hospitality restaurants, and I worked at STK.
Nice.
Back in the day when it just started like branching out.
Give me a time frame. Like what year?
That was 2011.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
way before
I-
the
yeah,
popularity.
I was
of
going to
it.
say, I remember STK around 2012, 2013. But
Yeah,
2011
yeah.
And
was,
that's
like, right
they
there.
only had the one in New York City at the time and the one in Vegas.
Yeah,
those were the
right.
ones that made it big. And then Miami was a big hub for them, and they just had reopened it and it was launching. Listen, it was fucking crazy.
I'm sure, yeah.
It was a great first job for me there, and I started making money that I haven't even seen before. Like I remember interviewing for the job, and I was like, I want to be a server, and and I was young. At the time I was 21, and they told me, they said, well, it's going to take you a little time to be a server, even though you have experience. I thought I had experience.
Yeah.
I didn't have experience.
That was like a different level of.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's like that's like career servers.
Yeah, right,
Like,
right,
people- The people working there are 40 years old.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make a career. Yeah.
They make real money.
Like, they make, legit. Yeah.
So when I was there, they was talking to them, and they're like, well, we can make you a food runner. And I was like, not really. I don't want to do that. I'll go somewhere else. And she's like, and I remember the manager at the time was like, well, how much you trying to make? I was just like, I don't know, like $1,000 a week will work. And she's like, well, how about 1,500? I was like,
I'll run food.
Is that how much they make? She's like, yeah. I was like, all right, when do I start? And so I started. And that's when I started. Imagine that, running fucking food.
Yeah, no
So
question.
it was definitely like an eye-opening experience. I didn't even know that existed. You know what I
Right,
mean? It didn't make any
right,
sense to
yeah.
me. So eventually, like I worked there for a while, and I remember the GM was a hater, and he wouldn't make me a server. So
Shout out to him.
Not really, it sparks the fire, obviously.
yeah.
We're going to mention your name later.
Exactly. No, I know who you are. You know who you are. And then later, like one of the managers moved to SLS, and that was at the time the biggest hotel opening in Miami in so long, and it became a huge success there. And I was working at Hyde Beach, the beach club, and she made me a server there in the little garden area, which eventually led to me to be a male bottle server in the coolest beach club in Miami.
Mad bitch.
Which was the best job in
That's
my
the first thing we all
entire-
thought about.
No, I'm sure what he just said is part of the reason.
Sorry, it's the first thing that me and Hans thought about.
entire
Yes,
life.
there's too much testosterone.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're
yeah,
men.
yeah.
It is what it is, man.
I try to save you, Josh.
I'm just saying that we have that part of it. That's all I'm saying.
Kevin's like this. Just staring straight into the camera. I am not here.
No. What are bitches?
Oh, man.
Never heard of
Say
it. Never not.
bitches.
Yeah, when you say bitches,
I ain't talking about dogs.
so that was an interesting experience, and I got a lot of management experience there too because of it. For the big events, obviously, I was helping more on the management side, managing the girls, but I was always part of the tip pool. You know?
Did you make? Is that where you made relationships with other like restaurateurs and
Definitely, it's where I made relationships with also big clients and big people with big money that I didn't even know existed, and those people opened my eyes to what's really out there in the world. Because
That's
when we
big.
grew up, I remember talking to a lot of my friends and Vin's mom in particular, and we were growing up, and I was just trying to be a cop, and I was just trying to make $100,000. My mom was a cop, and that's as we grow up. It's cop, fireman,
That's normal to follow in
cop, fireman,
footsteps.
sanitation,
Yeah.
right? That's what you go for. There's good benefits. There's good everything.
Yeah, I
you
agree.
settle for life.
work for the city?
Right, exactly. But it's
And 100,000 is the ceiling, the glass ceiling that everyone talks about. Well,
Right,
yeah,
exactly. You want to hit that ceiling.
Yeah.
100K.
So then I meet all these people, and I'm like, why do I only want to make $100,000 a year? And people, and back then, people thought I was crazy. Like, what? Just go make your money. If you get the job, you're lucky.
Dude,
Yeah.
that is huge what you just said, though.
But it's
because
true.
being in a different environment
Yes.
opens up your mind to shit you never thought
It's
possible.
100% true too. Like, it's not even. I didn't even understand before I went there and saw all this that there was an option for me to make any more than that. Especially I didn't even graduate high school. Like I dropped out at 17, got my GED, went to college with my whole class because I thought I was cool enough to do that. Man, I didn't even make it a month in college. I couldn't do that.
Was it for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't learn that way.
No, it's not for everybody.
Yeah,
That's
I
just
don't learn
not
that way.
true.
And I have my own opinions on school, but we'll get to that in a different episode.
So you are promising to come back?
I will come
Right
back.
there.
You want to talk about that?
That's a verbal contract.
You just signed us a line.
I'll come back.
You dug yourself that hole.
Because
verbal commitment. For sure, right there.
I'm working the way I am today to hopefully be able to make enough money that one day I can change the school system. That's one of my goals.
I love that.
It's amazing, yeah.
I have a big problem with the school system. That's
Yeah.
how it was
I
set up.
agree.
Yeah,
agree.
exactly. It's 100% wrong, but it's okay. It's not okay. But I'm working my ass off to hopefully one day be able to be comfortable enough and my family be comfortable enough that I'd be able to do that.
They run it as a business, and
Correct.
it's not supposed to be that way,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And it pumps out. It actually doesn't help kids. They don't care. Like I said, we'll get in. That's a whole. You get me started. I'll be here all fucking night.
Let's get back to Chris.
Yeah. That's how it goes. Anyway, so that job was amazing to me, and it opened my eyes up to a lot of different things. I remember so clearly. I was I moved from my boys' apartment because we all moved down together. Me and my two guys I played ball with, two big Asians, Harold and Mike, and we lived in North Miami. It was far from where my job was, so I moved closer. My rent was $900 a month for a one-bedroom, one-bathroom, and it was old, but that's all I needed. Like, it was my own shit,
That's
and it was
not bad.
close.
You in Miami?
I had a bedroom.
Exactly. That's not bad at
I had
all.
a bedroom and it had a kitchen,
Yeah.
and I painted it, and there wasn't any roaches.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Win for
good.
me.
Yeah.
They got roaches in Miami?
Coming from New York.
They're the flying roaches, man.
Oh, yeah, they got the big shit.
Yeah. And the little cats and little rats and
Yo,
Nah, man,
in
I'm
Florida,
good.
man, they have everything. You know that?
they got it all.
It's Mars.
I promise you that shit. They got it all.
They got mosquitoes.
What do you think
Nah,
broke his back?
Like,
And I remember my mom called me one day and she's like, "Chris, are you selling drugs?" I said, "What?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because my mom always has access to my bank accounts when I was younger because she saves my money for me because I don't save it. And she's like, "Are you selling drugs?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "How the fuck are you making this much money selling, serving tables?"
Right.
I was like, "I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea." I mean,
Mom, it's these pecs.
What not?
no,
What
it was. I hope maybe it was, but
His mom?
that was
Was she retired by then?
she was retired. Yeah.
Okay,
She
good.
was
She's not trying to bust you. All right.
Yeah.
So we got a perp.
Yeah, she's like, wait. Don't make me
Nothing
look
for it.
bad.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
is the
I mean,
truth.
I was something around like $3,000 a week I was making.
Damn, dog.
That was in my check. No, I remember one time I was at working a pool party, and one of the bigger pool parties, and I was in my bathing suit and a little tank top shirt. I blacked out drunk the entire time. I woke up the next morning in my bed in my swimsuit with no shirt on with $1,300 in my pocket,
Wow.
cash. And I was
That sounds like a night.
Yeah,
where the fuck did this come from?
Right.
I mean, that wasn't even my money from the check.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even real life. And that's how all these girls and stuff, they make real money. You make a career out of that
They
shit.
make a career of it, right?
I don't know about you guys, but I had no idea it was like that. Like I didn't know.
I actually have a little bit of experience. I worked in a
You
nightclub.
have a lot of
before.
experience. What are you
Oh
talking
yeah,
about? Yeah.
I do.
about it.
He used to own
Nah.
Amnesia. And,
Oh, my father.
in
My
Chelsea.
father. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
In
Amnesia?
in
Yeah.
Chelsea. Yeah.
Oh no.
So
Not that amnesia, huh?
Not the one in Queens. We used to go to the one.
no,
in
not that
Queens.
one.
Oh, no, that's the other Amnesia.
That's the
with
real
the-
amnesia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in Chelsea, in Manhattan.
That one you actually get amnesia after you leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, we got stories about
So when
that.
the photographer takes pictures of you and you told your girl you were home.
You're giving up
Yeah,
gems,
you're coming
man. You're
from
giving
the
up gems.
amnesia.
How do they know my MySpace tag?
Women watch
years
this
ago.
too. You're giving up the gems, bro. Nah, I'm fucking with you. I'm
Ban
fucking
the
with you, guys.
photographers.
Nah, but continue because I really want to know.
Yeah.
How did it all start? Like, people don't really know what it is you built out there. That's what I want to get to.
Yeah, so this is how it started, and these little jobs here and there is what happened. And after SLS, who fired me, because I got fired from every job in my life.
That's wild.
Not because I did anything wrong, but it's most of the time because I was making too much money. And that was the thing that happened over and over. I moved back to New York to help my mom out with a couple of apartments she had here in Glen Oaks, where we grew up. And I started working with the Tao Group. And when they opened their restaurant downtown, again, another machine. I know $45 million our first year.
Wow.
Everything was cash. It was just a crazy life. And I didn't even know here. And then I was living home too, so it was different. I was living in Queens. Remember, I had a little barbecue at my house.
Yeah.
Like when I first got back, I bought a little 1-bedroom condo where I grew up, and I had like a little outdoor patio, and I thought that was cool. And that was the goal growing up, by the way.
Right.
That was the goal. I thought to myself, this is my goal. I'm not doing anything else the rest of my life.
That was the bachelor pad, yeah.
That was everything. That's everything we ever wanted growing up.
Yeah.
And
It was comfortable. Really, what it was. It was perfectly
it's what we
comfortable.
wanted.
Yeah, exactly.
In
Yeah.
the hood, where we grew up, like everybody around.
Yeah.
And
You made it
Right.
Yeah,
That's what
really.
I felt like.
Yeah, really.
I really did. And back home with my boys, which was always nice. It really was, especially along the years. So I worked there for a while, did very well, parlayed that into a job on Wall Street. I worked on Wall Street for 2 years, about a little less than 2 years.
I just want to pause you there. Yeah, how did that happen? Because that's like a big jump in like.
So remember when I told you I
industry.
met people while I was working?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that the first year I was in Miami at SLS, I met to this day one of my best friends, and he was working on a desk in Wall Street, and I had no idea. I just treated him like a regular guy, and we ended up being really good friends and exchanging numbers. And then next thing you know, I'm going to Christmas dinner with him, every single year when I'm back home, and he ends up, running one of the biggest Wall Street desks, in the city.
Yeah.
Fire.
And we became really good friends I know everybody he works with, everybody I work with. And what had happened was I was always begging him or poking him.
Yeah.
Like, I can do this. Like, I knew what their job was, and I know I can do it. But I didn't even have a college diploma. I had a high school diploma.
Yeah.
I had nothing. So I knew it was a stretch, but they also knew I can do it. So eventually I bugged them enough after I got fired from Tao for a bad review.
I don't know, was that serious?
It wasn't.
No, it's like what he said
like-
before. It's basically an excuse for them to.
Correct.
Okay,
I was
gotcha,
making a
gotcha,
lot.
gotcha.
It's a simple
Okay,
excuse
that's
because anybody can
what
get
I'm
fired from Tao for a bad review, so they can just do it to anybody.
Wow.
You know?
And people weren't like there was people doing a lot worse shit.
Yeah.
But I got fired from that because everybody wanted to work with me. It was a partner system, and everybody knew how much money I was making because we had a partner with people. And I never talk about money. I never talk about how much I was making
Right.
and so on and so forth. For that reason, because I don't care. I'm not doing it for the clout. I want to make my money and go home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I've already been through what happens when people know how much you make.
Yeah.
You know,
No
so
good.
Which is a lesson for everybody in hospitality. Keep your mouth shut, make your money, go fuck home.
Yeah.
Right.
Make that's how your longevity lasts in the industry.
It's different because that's usually the first time they're making that kind of money. So
Yeah.
like, you
They
wanna
wouldn't get
tell
excited about it.
everybody.
Yeah,
Exactly,
and I
yeah.
totally
Yo, you
get
know
that.
what I'm making?
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
Yeah,
telling
yeah.
everybody.
I think we both have corporate jobs, and I still don't let people know. Like, and they asking you, "Well, you going on vacation? Where fun? Florida."
Yeah. Staycation.
I'm
I'm staying
Yeah,
right here in
I'm
my
flying
backyard.
I gotta go to the doctors. I gotta go do this. I gotta do that. I gotta clean my apartment. That's
Sure.
I got to take care of my cousin. I got to do
They don't even know I'm in Greece. They don't even know I'm in Italy. They don't even know none of that stuff.
That's the best way. Stephen A. does that. He never tells anybody where he's at.
He never says it.
Yeah,
He never
yes.
says. He always says he's on vacation.
Because you learn your lesson. Because when you do it once, you learn that lesson.
Yep.
And
No
the biggest
good.
thing is you don't make the same mistake
There's
twice.
no good in that. Only a target on your back.
Exactly,
obviously.
exactly. And at that point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So I got on Wall Street. I did very well. I figured out. So it's funny. I'll tell you a quick story. This was 2015. 2015. I figured out how to manipulate penny stocks with social media before it all
Outta
happened.
here. I was trying that shit for a minute.
Yeah, so I figured it out while I was working on the desk.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was doing something wrong. So I would go to my boss. I went to my boss at the end of the day, and I would tell him, like, listen, this is what I want to do. This is like, how do I make this legal? And he's like, you can't. Right. And I was like, all right, well, I did it anyway. Right, I did it anyway. But it wasn't
Going until you get caught.
No, I didn't. I did it below what I was. As long as I didn't over exaggerate,
Right,
it wasn't.
right,
It
You
wasn't
didn't set off
really-
any alarms.
It wasn't a crime. Yeah,
Like
it
a
wasn't.
threshold.
The
Yeah,
same
you
story,
didn't go over
basically, of
that
your life
threshold.
of
Yeah.
you hitting that.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And then, but it's funny that now it's legal.
Yeah.
Now they're on the news manipulating the stock market,
that-
and nobody
yeah.
got arrested.
No, yeah.
So like, that's why I wanted to tell the story, because it's absolutely insane what happened with Robinhood and what happened with GameStop. And,
Yeah.
Because they
Oh, yeah.
manipulate exactly what they did was what I was doing back
When the
then.
stock got shorted, right?
Yeah,
GameStop,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, but
You're
they
ready,
allow it when
basically.
it makes sense to them.
What?
Yeah.
They allow it when it makes sense to them.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
But
the
they're
same
looking-
exact thing I was doing.
They're
Well,
looking into that now, right?
Yeah.
Like, some of these social media
No, I
investors
yeah.
who were like
Yes.
promoting their stocks, and people were investing, and then they were like, sell
Right,
it.
Elon Musk is
Right.
getting
Yeah,
in front
exactly.
of Dogecoin,
Exactly.
but
Dogecoin, yeah,
but nobody's getting in trouble for GameStop. Nobody's getting in trouble for all these things. It's
Yeah.
it's accepted,
Yeah.
which is insane because there's no difference between now and it was 2015 or 16,
Yeah.
So, but like the last thing I want to do is ever do anything, go to jail. I put that
no,
behind
bro.
me when I was 19. So I ended up stopped doing that. But then going back to when I was 19, I got arrested when I was 19. For like a big ball brawl party, everybody stealing shit.
Yeah.
And because of that, and I
times.
disclosed it. I disclosed it to my employers, but they didn't put it on my SEC application. So they flagged it and told me I couldn't take the Series 7. After being in there for a year and a half
Wow.
and putting in so much work. Remember, I was meeting you in the city for drinks. Like we would
Yeah.
go out all the time, and so that was a big downer for me. Because remember, like when I met this guy in 2011, like I was in awe of how the lifestyle was, and like I said, I'd never seen them before.
Yeah, like I saw Wolf of Wall Street, and I was like,
Right.
what?
Yeah, it wasn't that extreme, but even doing half of that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it's
even a tenth of that.
Right,
is
exactly.
To somebody from like our background,
exactly.
like, come on,
like,
bro.
holy shit, I can do that. You know what I mean? So I would work for 6 years to try to get to that point, and I got there, and then they told me I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So that was a hard hit, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm a big proponent. Everything happens for a reason, and that wasn't my destiny or whatever you want to call it. So right after that, I moved right back to Miami because my goal was to make enough money on Wall Street to open my own restaurant in Miami. That was my goal the entire time.
Well, the plan was always to go back.
It was always to go back because Miami to me was the place that made sense. Because back then it was cheap. It ain't cheap anymore. So it was a great life.
It's the new New York right now.
Yeah, for real.
Since COVID, especially, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to go down that road, but I'm just saying.
It's been.
That road leads to what we're talking about later.
Okay, perfect. Then.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So, so I moved back to Miami, and I ended up going back to SDK, working on the same one that I worked in for 6 months, just making a little cash. After I worked on Wall Street, granted, just to rebuild my house. I bought a condo, and I was like, I'm staying here, and I still got it. And I did all the improvements, worked there. I also had to get grained back in the community. I wasn't there for 2 years.
Yeah.
So and then Miami's all about being a part of the community. So many places go down there and fail because they just think they're the shit. I've seen it happen so many times.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
That's like new news to me.
I thought New York was more like that. Maybe Queens or something like that more than even Miami.
Miami's even worse.
Rub some shoulders with and just get yourself back.
Because when I was working at SLS and the pool, I was able to meet everybody who was anybody in the city.
Do you find New Yorkers that go up there that act like cocky and stuff like that and try to I'm from New York now and come to my spot?
For sure. Especially now that everybody's there, New Yorkers think they run in Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay.
But trust me, Miami, you have to be ingrained in the community. You can say you're on shit, they'll leave you at the door.
Yeah.
Then they won't, and you open a place up and nobody will go.
You got to be one of theirs.
Yeah, you do.
That's interesting.
I think it's important to know, like, us as his boys who grew up with him, like, he has all these ideas, like, he's saying all this stuff that he wants to do. And we're like, all right, like, that sounds good. But, like, I don't know, we just have that mindset, like, that how realistic is it that he's going to, go there, open the restaurant, the restaurant's going to be successful, it's going to take
Let me make something clear before the show keeps going. His birthday is March 7th.
Josh, can I get a refill?
That's about it.
Thanks,
My birthday is March 7th.
As you're doing that, I'll take
So what ends up happening, this podcast was a wild idea that everybody's like, oh, that's what's up, man. Yeah, that'll make sense. It took years before and that was actually because of Jonathan Chetty that he was just like, yo, I got your vision now. But I'm talking about, it was me talking about this for a hot minute.
Oh, yeah.
Because my mind is always forward, right? I'm not as successful as you. I'm not going to fucking go so crazy. But it's that. It's you're a dreamer in a sense, but there's always, how can I get there?
Yeah.
It's not like, I got this idea. It's so great. You're going to sit there and fucking plot it out. Like you said, listen, I did the Wall Street shit because I'm coming back to Miami.
Yep.
It wasn't like, what can I do?
I had a plan.
Yeah, you had a plan. And that's important for anybody watching the shoo that does have a desire. Well, that too.
That's where you were going.
Yeah, make your baby like in June. Or something.
Wow, you have this shit planned out.
I do, exactly. I missed the mark earlier.
He's a little bit of a psychopath. A little bit.
Not so much. That's how I am who I am. I'm a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy.
But for sure. It's I think people need to understand that you didn't just do this like, yes, certain cards fell into your hand, but you made those cards fall in place.
Something
this shit don't just come.
I do want to say is that I had a goal to work everywhere I could to get their recipe. So
like that.
People think of the hospitality industry, and the restaurant industry in a certain way, and they're right.
Sorry.
It's a very, very hard industry.
Yeah.
And nobody makes it. So that was always told to me. Why you want to do this? Why do you want to do that? It's so hard. Blah, 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 blah.
That's all I hear.
That's literally all I hear about the restaurant
Right,
industry.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But the difference is that these companies I was working for, they all made it, right? So they kept making it. It wasn't like they had one place and like they kept doing it over and over. So if you think about it, it's like obviously there's a recipe that they got, and it's fucking working. Right. So in my head, I was like, let me
tap into it.
Their recipe.
Of course.
Let me take their recipe. Let me take Tao's recipe. Let me take SDK's recipe. Let me take the SLS's recipe. Let me take all their recipes.
Even Wall Street.
Learn it. Yeah, of course. Learn the recipe and then put my own twist on it and do it myself.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're all similar recipes, but they all have their own unique ideas towards it.
I was gonna say they're all pretty big brands. It's all marketing and branding. Really, was the bottom line is right.
Yeah, but it's also about what my secret is that I create engulfing experiences and really just let people be somewhere else. And I did that the best with Shush, one of my nightclubs. And you walked into it and he was
Wait. Is Shush the first endeavor you took on?
No. It was just a nightclub. I guess I'll get into it later, but
Yeah.
that concept was very engulfing. Like you walked into it, you felt like you were in New York City in the middle of Miami.
Oh, nice.
And it was just really But those are the things that stand out to people, that people talk about to other people, and then next thing you know, you don't even have to market it because it's like, yo, I got to take you here.
That's very true.
You know what I mean? And that's what these companies did on top of using celebrities and so on and so forth. But the celebrities come once you make it poppin'.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you got to start from nothing first.
Yeah, I went to Miami one weekend, and I can't go back.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another story for another podcast. Yeah.
Well, we can tell that story if you want.
That's for the Patreon.
That's for the Patreon. You got to pay for that.
Patreon?
You got to pay for that.
You got to pay to play for that one.
Yeah.
It might
But
that one might be.
but as you can
You
tell,
guys promoted it well, man.
you know, I'm sure that club was popping then, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I did.
Yeah.
The club was, bigger and better than I ever could have imagined.
Go ahead, name drop.
Awesome.
Just give them a couple names.
No, I'm not
People
gonna
who
do
win.
No, like
You have to.
we
Why not?
You could do it.
We encourage light flexes here.
Yeah, why not?
Give them
We
like
encourage
three.
light
Give them like
flexes,
2 or 3.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, but there's been a lot of names, and I'll tell you the one that was coolest to me was when Little John came in
That's my guy, bro.
during the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and he sat down next to me, and we talked for an hour and a half straight. And
Awesome.
he is so intelligent and so
That's why I say, have you
He's
seen
very
his
spoken.
He has a show now that made me really
he?
see Little John on a whole different.
Yeah.
It's about he does interior design.
Yeah, I can see
on these
that.
new homes, and I'm
that's
like,
what we were talking about. We sat there and we were talking about
Fucking
business.
genius.
And this is at like 3:00 in the morning, and we're drinking tequila, and it was just me and him in the corner, just chopping it up. No security. Came in by himself, and it was really dope. Like I
Was he
wasn't
DJing at that
expecting-
point? Because I know he DJs a little bit in my.
Yeah, but he wasn't DJ. He literally just came up the street.
Just a chill.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where
Which
he came
is
from.
even more dope,
Yeah.
I think.
But yeah, no, it was awesome. I was never expecting that. You know, it was during Super Bowl weekend, so the whole world was in Miami. But that was a really cool experience for me, where I was like, wow,
awesome.
this and then we talked forever. Yeah, my dad set her up, we left. You know, he's like, every time anywhere you're at, just hit me up.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's really cool.
That is, yeah.
You know,
That's
that's
awesome,
nice.
yeah.
You never expect.
And Little
something
John
like
in Miami is like, come on, man.
Yeah,
You thought I was the only
Icon out
famous
there,
John he
for real.
knew?
Yeah. J-O-N, too.
Yeah.
J-O-N.
that.
That's
Exactly.
dope, though, man. That's
Word,
awesome.
Word.
Yeah. So where was I in the story? Miami. So when I got back to Miami after it all. I was working at STK, and I was over serving tables. You know, it was tough for me, like with pride. Honestly, my pride was in the way, which is probably ignorant. But I was a kid. You know, at the end I was still 20.
I appreciate the
You wanted
honesty.
more,
honestly.
man.
Yeah.
You wanted more.
I do appreciate the honesty, yeah.
25 years old,
Yeah.
and I remember so clearly of the story of me leaving. I also never told this publicly. So I was working at STK, and I was serving tables, and it was late night. And I was just about closing up, you know, it got popping that night. And a group of promoters came in, and one of the kids at the table was like, yo, where's my fucking water?
Oh, jeez.
I go down to him, I say, listen, man, you never talked to me like that in your life. And I walked away.
Yeah.
And that was it. He starts chasing me around the fucking, like, I just walk away. Like, I didn't think anything was going to happen, you know? He starts chasing me around like there's like a circular carpet.
You was built like Kurt Angle back then, too?
I was bigger.
Yeah, okay.
And at that time, I had plenty of time on my hands.
Yeah, gotcha.
He was like Goldberg.
I had plenty of time on my hands. I was jacked up back then. Like, he
Shout
had
out
no
to Rel.
business doing that. He had no business doing that shit.
Yeah.
And he started walking around just chasing me. And then I was so done with everything at that point. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? Fuck it. I took my apron off. I threw it behind the bar. I walk out the front door. I take the whole door off the hinges. This door is 12 feet tall. The whole door right off the hinges. And at the time, we had my boy Trey was a security there, and him and his guy. This guy was like 350 pounds, and Trey's built like a brick house. They both bear hug me like this, and they picked me up, and I was going nuts, berserk, and they wouldn't let me go, obviously, which I'm glad they didn't. But from that day on, I never went back. I quit. Never served a table again.
Wow.
Never did anything else, and that was the end of my career.
That's wild.
What
that
did
day
you
on.
do in the meantime, though?
Remember, the idea for me was always to go back and make my own restaurant.
Okay.
Right.
So what I promised myself after I left that day was that I was going to go and find a deal for me to open my own restaurant. And it took about 5.5 months for me to find the deal. I was looking on everything. I was looking on Google, this, that. I was looking on. I found something on LoopNet, which is a commercial website.
Yes.
And usually, you know, it's all realtors usually. But I found some deal that was like, oh, this is interesting, you know. And it was for a whole hotel on 9th and Collins. And I was
Collins,
like, let me go figure out what they need. You know, like maybe it'll be something cool. So I end up going, and I end up, you know, brokering this deal, putting a deposit down. And
there was no catch.
Huh?
There was no catch.
I thought there was.
Seeing something like that, I'll be like,
I thought there was, but like I saw the leases. I saw everything. They owned the 25-year lease to the building, and that's a long enough lease.
Yeah,
sure. So as long as we made a deal, they had to get their landlord, who lived in Italy at the time, still lives in Italy, to sign off on it. And they were back on their rent. They weren't making it. So I knew I could turn it into. If I gave it my all, I knew I could turn it into something.
Yeah.
Long story short, I came back to New York, and after I made the deal with them, I had a letter of intent, the whole 9 yards, and I just needed to get about $300K because I was going to put up. I was going to put the other 200. Yeah.
Just a light 300.
Yeah. I was going to put up my life savings. I had 200,000
I
to
just
do
needed
this
that
with.
part.
So I had to get somebody to put up the other half.
Okay.
I came back home. I thought I was going to go to Wall Street and get the money, right? I was I got one place to go, right?
Yeah.
And I ended up getting it from Fred in the neighborhood, and that was off to the races after that. I moved back down to Miami and got it started. Hope for the best, and god damn, it was hard at the beginning. Like I remember the first time I had to pay the tax bill. You know what the tax bill was? $92,000.
What's the point of this?
Back taxes?
I don't even
What am I
know.
doing
The
this
taxes
for?
on the building.
on the
the
building.
real estate taxes.
Yes.
Like that wasn't even taxes on the money I made. That was the taxes just I had to pay to be there.
That's ridiculous.
And I was just like,
Absurd.
Jesus Christ. And back then I didn't even know what money was. Like I was happy. I thought $40,000 was a lot of money.
Nah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I figured something out. I paid the taxes. And I pushed it back for a little bit, and I paid it off.
That's so ridiculous.
Yo, it's insane, right? You think about it, right? It's
America.
Made it here.
I'm thinking of
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what the fuck did I get myself into?
That's some
You know what I
bullshit.
mean?
But
Like,
you're already in.
but I had nothing else.
Yeah.
I gave
I
up
have everything
I
to
put
lose.
my
Yeah,
life
yeah,
savings
Yeah,
up.
you
Like,
could beat
I had-
$100,000
I had
bet.
nothing left. I could not fail. There was
Give
not
me a
an
time
option.
frame.
There was
What
no-
year is
yeah,
this?
yeah.
This is 2016.
Wow.
Okay.
11,
so
11,
that's
16
fairly
is-
fresh, bro.
Yeah,
11,
word.
11, 16 is when it happened.
Okay.
And I had a whole deck done. I had all these concepts built out, Bacon Bitch being one of them, that I sold, the person, the investors that came in, and my partner at the time. And also, people thought I was fucking nuts for that, because in 2016, the word bitch was so, like, out of it. Like, there wasn't a real thing. Like, nobody used it. I wasn't even allowed
offensive,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed on Uber Eats and Yelp at
I
first.
could imagine. I was thinking
Like,
that right now. I was like, damn, I wonder how they
That's
reported this
interesting.
shit, like on news and shit.
Yeah, and
They can be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you know,
that's what it
asterisk,
started with.
yeah.
It started with. But then I said no. I said, if you're gonna put the asterisk, take me up. I don't
Yeah.
want to be there.
Yeah.
Because I knew if the whole word was there, that alone would be enough marketing to at least get me started.
Yeah.
Impact,
Right.
yeah.
I hear you, yeah. That's-
And I knew that I had to make an impact somewhere because remember I didn't have enough money to market it, so I had to make it market itself, which is why I use the name Bacon Bitch. That's
Love
why
that shit,
that's why I
man.
started, and I
do
love
too.
breakfast.
No,
Breakfast is my
I
shit.
loved everything you're saying right now. It's great.
Breakfast is
yeah,
my
great
shit.
marketing, great.
Yeah, so that was my idea behind it all, and I never expected it to become what it became, but I knew it was going to work. I did know. I was very confident that it was going to work, and it did. And the hotel did very good for me as well. I had 32 rooms,
What was the name of the hotel?
the Franklin Hotel
Okay.
on 9th and Collins, and then I had Bacon Bitch.
Still there, right?
Still there. And so that was that whole ordeal. And I mean, it got crazy after a while. I mean, what happened in the next 6 years is just a movie.
Did you still own it in during the pandemic?
Yeah, I owned it the whole time. Yeah, it was.
How was that?
So in the beginning, like I said, it was tough on me with money-wise, trying to get it all through and try to make it because everybody in Miami's got money. All these big. I got to compete with these venues that don't have a stoppage. Like,
There's no ceiling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They have millions and millions of dollars. That Celeste had $1 million in their general, bank account just for operational purposes.
Well,
like
a tribute to you. When we were talking off camera, you were still paying your employees, no?
oh well, for during Corona,
Yeah.
it was
That's dope.
tough. And the crazy part is that right before Corona, I had built Bacon Bitch, I had built my bar, Drunk Bitch, I had built the hotel. I had it all finally just sailing.
Yeah.
And it was at a point where it was actually doing great for us. And I also built a communications company where we serviced all the fiber in the ground for a company.
Oh my God.
It was just on the side. 'cause
Nah,
I-
that's.
I'm a fucking hustler, bro.
I was gonna say that's different kind of investment.
because I needed to
Infrastructure.
pay
But who
for the
thinks
growth.
of?
Yeah, exactly.
I needed to pay for the growth, and I didn't want to take any new investors in. So I needed to pay for the growth of it all. So I was like, all right, how am I going to do this? And I got a lead from somebody that there was, a void in the business. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. And it ended up being the most profitable business I ever had. Was that company?
And that time period is important. Like from when you went from buying a hotel and had this idea to a restaurant to now the hotel is doing well.
Yeah.
the restaurant's doing well. It's going viral because of the fucking because of the concept.
Right,
yeah. Like everybody's going there. Like when people go to Miami, they're going to Bacon Bitch for brunch.
And that was my goal
to get called.
Yeah, I heard the name prior.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Chetty sent me I'm like,
nah, I didn't send it to you.
Bacon Bitch? Oh, when you sent me his.
Nah, I'm just joking. I did.
I was like, wait, I'm tripping?
Come on, dog.
Like,
Am I going to blow up your spot?
Have you seen the talent?
Nah, I don't know.
I sent you a couple times.
I was like, fuck, man. I blew up the spot.
Yeah, so it was definitely a crazy time for me. But the thing about it was I finally got to sail a little bit because it was a fucking grind. No joke. 24 hours, 7 days a week. You got a hotel. 24 hours.
I think now I kind of understand the retirement.
20.
Right?
I'm glad you do because it was a lot.
That just sounds stressful, bro.
Yeah. So right when I was, finally skating a little bit, being able to just take it easy and just be like, all right, let me enjoy the fruits of my labor a little bit. Not for me?
Yeah.
You know me so well.
Mix and match, baby.
I don't want to get rid of it.
It's all good. It's all
I
good.
got to make sure I save it all.
No, that's interesting because I always say, and it's something I learned from my father-in-law actually, where he says everybody wants $1 million, but they don't want the $1 million problems.
Sure.
They don't know what comes
Great way
with
to say
that.
it. Yeah.
And that's always stuck in my head. He said that in 2018. 2018, and that shit was just like pink.
Yep. It's a lot of work.
Damn,
man.
that's so deep.
But if you put the work in, it's possible, and that's what people understand. That's what I really want to get across to people that we grew up with, and like anything is possible. Like I went there with, but I also put my whole life on the line, which not everybody can do.
Risk, bro, risk.
But the risk reward is what I live my life on.
Right.
Like I wasn't able to protect myself a lot these years with lawyers and contracts and all this shit.
You sound like you're more in love with the process than even the result.
The process is everything, and you hear Kobe talking about it. You hear everybody talking about the process, and you sit back and be like, "Fuck the process. I want the money."
I want
But going through what I went through, I understand the process, and now I'm very excited about what is ahead for me. Because I want to enjoy that process like I never had before.
Yeah.
No, I totally understand.
I risk it all on FanDuel, and he risked it all in a business.
Why don't we own this fiber? How do we not have this?
Why don't you guys own Brown Duel?
Because the Jets couldn't
Right,
lose
because
that.
he would be my number. He would be my number one client.
By
That's
more
why.
than 21
Because Zach Wilson was playing.
There was no way they were losing.
Why?
by
Because
more
the
than
CEO
21.
Guard your mothers. If Zach is around, guard your mothers, man.
That's my quarterback
I
now,
was
man.
gonna say, if you were talking shit about Zach Wilson,
That was wild.
Right.
nah, man.
It's where you choose to risk.
I'm not
it.
laughing at that last one. man.
Exactly. We all risk it in different ways.
Yeah, we all risk it in different ways. Exactly.
Oh man, so
Jets
yeah,
are
it was a good couple of years. But the pandemic hit me like a fucking bag of bricks. And
Right.
And then
Well,
that life
obviously you lasted through it because your retirement was in 2021.
before, yeah. But they closed my club. They closed nightlife in Miami for 2 years.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And they closed hotel. They closed the hotel for what was it? Almost a year and a half. I think.
Jesus.
No,
Wow, bro.
yeah, a year at least. And when that happened, I ended up, getting my way down to Bacon Bitch, and right before the pandemic, I had bought a business right behind me called that I made the chicken spot because I understood that I needed food for Shush. I wanted to have late night food, and I was making these I wanted to make these fried chicken sandwiches. I had this idea that actually developed from Cherry Valley and Christina's. Like,
Yeah,
you
shit.
know what I mean?
Awesome.
Queen staple work.
Yeah, so
Shout out to them.
I used to go there
Nice.
every day. So I was like, I got to do this at one point in my life.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I was like, I know I could do it better too. And I did. Honestly, I truly believe I did. And
Kevin ate there. What do you think?
Be honest. Quick.
Hold on. Which one? Listen.
The answer is just yes.
We used to go to his house after the basketball games, right? And he would make us pasta.
Yeah, I remember
and it was like a spicy pasta with like pepperoni.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yo, this is fire. Like, if I got this in a restaurant, like, yo, I'll pay whatever
That's
for this.
wild,
yeah.
And then like he turned that into
That's dope.
like
That
a
is.
real business.
That's
so
dope as hell.
A
That
lot
is.
of your
It really is.
your
Right.
origins where it started.
Yeah,
you put
yeah.
it
for
into
sure.
all your
Yeah,
business.
And Teddy would be the one coming over my house.
Yo, it would be like
That's
8 of us
amazing.
in the
That's
Glen
amazing,
Oaks
Kurt.
apartment, like
Yeah.
fucking. My
Just
girl
put a
said, like,
Parmesan on top.
yo,
Just like
like, yo.
shoveling
You're
away.
a little bit of a picky eater too, so that's
Yo,
good.
oh, no.
You
He would come over
that's
I
good.
would just cook just for him sometimes.
Yeah,
Fire,
That's
bro.
wild.
She was
I remember
fire.
that.
It's dope.
I would have paid anything for that, but it was free.
Yo, I would've paid-
It tastes a little better because it was free.
And every
Right,
time
right,
he came,
right.
he'd pull the pepperoni out of his pants and be like, yo, I
Oh
got
yeah,
pepperoni.
we said stop and shop. You know, with the pepperoni in
serious?
the pocket.
Yo, not for nothing, but
Just in case you forgot.
Yeah.
I was like, my man.
Trying to cook? Yo, you trying to cook today?
Oh, you don't want to? I'll just take it home, man. I'll just take it home.
I'll bring it back home.
It don't matter. Whatever you want to do. Nah, this is 100%
Somebody gonna eat it.
This is a real story. I'm not just making this up. This is real shit.
So that's like, these are like, these sandwiches,
awesome.
like
No,
all
that's
this food
awesome.
comes from
Yeah.
like these
It comes from-
And it was
Because
called
of us.
the chicken
That's
spot.
awesome.
Yeah, it was a chicken spot. So also, I needed to. This is because everybody called me, said that I made it because it was a gimmick. I made it because Bacon Bitch was a good gimmick, and I heard that over and over. So I didn't
That's
say
a
nothing.
driver
about it.
right there,
I didn't
bro.
say it about. I didn't
Yeah.
say nothing, but I listened. Right. So I was like, all right, let me make it as basic as fucking possible and knock this shit out the park, so nobody has nothing to say no more.
Right.
And that's what I did. And the chicken spot blew up during Corona when nobody else was even open. I opened a restaurant. I opened the chicken spot during Corona. Like it had its first day was April, I think 11th, and they weren't even
month
allowing
after.
people inside.
Yeah.
They weren't even allowing people inside yet. I was delivering, and what I did was I was charging. I made the whole menu $5, the entire menu, and I sent it to everybody in the world, and just making it $5, it just marketed itself.
Yeah.
And I sent it to all the
This motherfucker's
influencers.
Frank Lucas selling blue magic.
That's exactly like that.
For 100%, 100%.
Everything is like
that is
that.
paid
It's
in
true.
full. They did that in paid in full as well.
And,
So $100 bottles.
and because of the nightclub, I had a lot of friends in the industry and stuff like that. Like, I remember the 11 was having a party, and I sent them for their whole entire staff. I sent them
Nice.
sandwiches, and
That's fire.
they're great to me. They were great to everybody. They're probably one of the biggest establishments that I respect the most.
Yeah.
They know how to do business, which is not normal.
Yeah.
Especially in Miami. So that idea really helped me, get through the pandemic and keep my employees employed. So one thing I did when the pandemic happened, I also didn't know it was going to last as long as it did. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah. None of us did.
But I kept my employees employed the entire time. Anybody who wasn't getting help from the government was getting paid by me,
That's awesome.
including my management, including everybody. Everybody got paid the entire time.
How do you make that happen?
I went through all my reserves.
Damn.
All my reserves. Yeah, it wasn't easy because like I said, it wasn't what I thought. From looking back on it, it was probably like $1.5 million I blew. Even with some PPP money I got PPP money, but it wasn't as much as I paid out.
No.
So it was tough. It was hard. At one point, I remember I had finally got a really good lease because the pandemic was a perfect time to sign leases.
Yeah.
Because they were all fucking cheap. So I signed a lease in St. Petersburg.
They were
Florida.
giving months away, bro.
Yo, it was great.
Yeah.
So I signed one there, knowing that I was like, I could do this. I could blow this shit up here. And I remember when I signed that, right around that time, I was there and I ran out of money. I couldn't pay payroll. It was close. Like I was like, if I don't fucking figure this shit out, I'm not gonna be able to pay payroll. And I figured it all out. At the end of the day, I took like a headhunter loan. It's like 28%.
Jesus
To
Christ.
pay the employees. Yeah, but
That's that Dominican shit,
Yeah.
bro.
and I just bet on myself. Yeah, so I-
Tario.
Yo, loan shark.
'cause I knew that as long as the world turned around, I would be all right,
Right.
And thank God the world turned around.
Yeah.
The Bacon Bitch in Miami, I moved it down the block. I moved out of my hotel, left the club behind, fully built out nightclub, left a fully built out hotel behind, moved Bacon Bitch a block away to 10th and Collins to a space that was 3 times the size. And we opened up without really a build out, just because we had to open,
Right.
And at the time at the Franklin, we were allowed to have outdoor seating. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we celebrated his birthday here.
Right, outside. Right,
July
exactly.
9th of 2020.
2020, yep.
Yeah, we had a line around the
R.I.P.
entire.
Because people wanted to get
Block.
out eventually. You know what I mean? They wanted to be.
And Miami was hot, and
Yeah.
and we were open-ish.
Yeah.
Right.
and the beach was there.
Everybody from here was going down there.
And the flight was $20. Like it was.
Yo, you can go to
Yeah.
Puerto Rico for like $40
Yeah.
bucks.
Exactly. That's how.
Gosh.
So that everybody was in Miami, and there was
seeing the
nowhere to go.
world,
Yeah.
So all nightclubs, everything is closed.
You remember that? Yeah, it was on Twitter. Like people, like the streets were crazy, man.
Yo,
Remember,
it was
people were like, "What the
insane.
fuck are they doing
we
in
had
Florida?"
all we had was Miami.
We were
We were hating.
Exactly.
That's all we had. Yeah.
So because of that, like I'm not gonna lie for a second. That really helped me. It did. It really helped me blow up Bacon Bitch, and I went viral on TikTok a couple of times during that time.
Nice.
And then I went all in on TikTok after that, and that was that helped the new venue out a lot.
We're going to need help after the show. For
Marketing.
marketing
I'm home.
advice.
That's awesome. Man.
I'm home now. I'm helping everybody out. It's all
Nice,
good.
man. Nice.
And then when we moved to a new location, there was a crowd of people outside that the cops would come and be like, "What is this for?" And they were like, "They're just waiting to eat."
That's funny.
Yo, it wasn't real life, man. It really wasn't. I'm getting chills from just thinking about
that
it.
sounds nuts. That sounds nuts.
I think Queens Bully went through something similar with their tipsy drinks. I remember that shit was going fucking through the roof.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
100%.
Which is funny because when you were talking
Shout out
about
to
Miami
Rohan.
having exactly, this is like culture. Queens Bullies become like culture in Queens, right?
100%.
Exactly. Like
During that time, they were the ones
Exactly. Very
delivering
similar story in a
food,
lot of
giving out
ways.
They were
drinks.
donating food to like hospitals, to hospital workers and stuff like that. Like, they found a way to pivot and like it got their name out there. And on top of that, they're like, so I guess people were kind of like, all right, well, they're doing all this stuff for the community. We got to come back in.
Exactly.
718 Day was a banger last year.
I came in with my daughter for Valentine's Day, and we were like, it's just me and Penelope in this like cube,
like a bubble, right?
Yeah, like the fucking thing. But it was dope because it was like, fuck, we can finally go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
I can do something.
Exactly.
Exactly. And that's what it's about. And that's what happens. You give back. And I will say, because I employed all my employees the entire time, and because I kept everybody, I had employees when we opened.
Yeah.
Nobody else can get an employee.
Yo, word.
Right?
Right.
Everybody's
I didn't know
collecting
that
their
was going to
unemployment
happen.
checks.
I couldn't foresee that
Yeah.
nobody wanted to work because I didn't expect them to give so much money for free to everybody. You know what I mean?
Right.
But because I kept everybody employed, and during that time, remember that all the nightclubs in the entire city were closed. Yeah. Everybody was closed. So we had the bottle girls from 11 working, the bartenders, the bussers, the VIP hosts from all these different nightclubs. They're all working with us.
Yeah.
Because we're slam busy. Like I'm talking about not even being able to handle it busy. And these girls are making real money.
That sounds like A1 talent.
Yeah.
Handsome.
It was awesome.
That sounds amazing. Yes, amazing.
I wouldn't know.
It's amazing.
No, but
I'm already fantasizing.
And after they opened, they went back, and I was cool with it. Like listen, I'm here to support the community. I want to make sure everybody's making money, and because of all that, I really think that's why it all came to what it was.
Right,
and then I was able to open up St. Petersburg, and then I opened up one in downtown right after.
So in this time, you're expanding Bacon Bitch, but you're telling me you sold the Franklin, correct? You were done with the Franklin?
Yeah, I had to move.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Shush was
done.
Was
Yeah,
that
it
because
was
of the
done.
pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was done. Which really hurt my heart because
You feel like that was your baby?
yeah,
Yeah.
and because that was just such a crazy experience. You walk, and I'll tell you how you walk in from literally you're on Miami Beach, right? You walk in through this bookcase, and you're in Bacon Bitch, so you have no idea anything's around. You walk in, and you push the book yourself. This isn't just like somebody just push it. You go find it yourself. You push it, and this bookcase comes in, and literally you walk in. We're talking about the bricks on the floor, the subway grates, the windows, everything. You felt like you were in a New York City alley in the middle of Miami.
That's awesome.
It was unbelievable. And then I had this cryo.
Harry Potter brings you to New York.
Right, exactly. I had this cryo coming up from the subway grate and blowing girls' skirts up like Marilyn Monroe.
That's wild.
Like there was I swear to God.
I would have cameras set up there all day.
Well, that's a
Yo,
little,
bro,
that's a
what
little
the
weird.
fuck?
That's a little
You
weird.
went full creep, man.
You just killed it all.
With consent.
What consent,
What
bro?
the fuck is wrong with you guys? Yo, you guys are sick. Y'all the sickos. Hold on. We're definitely signing some shit
never
before we
go
go through the door.
You never go full.
Yeah, I was thinking that the whole time.
You guys are sick, bro.
Yeah, so like that's something that I miss a lot, and I do want to do it again. I still have a tattoo on my finger. I'm gonna do it again one day. I hope. I will. I'll do it again.
And just from like our New York perspective, the New York guys' perspective, like we're watching all this. Like we'll go visit him every so often.
Yeah.
We're seeing this shit on social media. We're like, yo, Viso's doing it. Like, blow it up.
We ain't
That gotta be
living.
wild.
Right.
That gotta be wild. Yeah.
Yeah. As I'm fucking taking the subway to work, I'm like, this fucking guy. Fucking
Is he in some pyramid scheme or something?
in Miami with some baddies as I'm fucking on the subway going to work. But like, yo, he was doing it. So no,
That's
we were
amazing.
proud though. We were
Amazing.
proud.
Yeah, of course.
So,
I mean,
it was dope.
we're hearing
It was
all the
dope to see
pluses.
that.
I want to know where the shift came.
Yep.
What shift?
The shift to lead you to retirement.
Okay. All right. So something I didn't tell you guys is right before the pandemic, MGM International called me and they wanted to do one in Las Vegas on the Las Vegas
A
Strip.
Bacon Bitch?
Yeah.
Wow.
And which was to me, I got to tell you, I thought it was a joke. I didn't take it seriously for a little bit.
Why?
They were calling you, right? You didn't think like
Yeah,
they were
I-
serious.
Oh.
I find that part crazy that they're actually calling you like, hey, we need.
Fuck, you thought it was a telemarketer?
Yeah.
No,
It's Chetty. It's Chetty.
So what
It's
happened
fucking
was,
Chetty again. He just wants to go to Vegas.
It's like, Teddy keeps calling me and telling me he's MGM.
This has to be Kelly as well. Like, you guys are plotting some shit.
Genius.
Bacon, bitch, and Tula Bagel. MGM.
We got him. He's coming.
We're giving you $10,000 credit on the roulette.
And you know Anthony's mad loud in the back. Yo, he answered. Shout out to Tula Bagel.
Honestly, that was a very good possibility at the time. And the guy's name was Fareed that was calling me, so it makes a lot of sense.
We here for the Browns. Though.
Yeah. We're with the shits. We're with the
Brown and Beige podcast.
I can say that.
We're with the shits.
The stories that we have are not real life. So the reason why they were calling me because my commercial realtor had went out there for a conference and he brought it up to one of the people, but he didn't tell me, and that's why I didn't know it was that real.
Well, that's a good realtor to have in your corner, though.
Right? No. Yeah. Thank God I had a lot of support. You know, big thing about me is I take care of everybody. My morals are what got me where I am today. Okay. Like, if I say it, I'm going to do it. I refuse to lie ever, even if it hurts your feelings. Like, these are just things that
Pisces gang.
Yeah, these are just things that I just live.
I knew you were gonna say that.
It's just.
That's why y'all like Kelly as well, because Anthony's like that, bro.
Yeah.
Pisces gang.
Exactly, and we grow to learn that. We don't know that when we're young, you know. And once I started living that way,
you guys are loyal.
Things don't change.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm very very loyal. So once they called me and I did that, and like I said, I took 2-3 calls and I just was talking to them on my car phone with my boys in the car, and I was just like, I don't think this is real. And my boys like, why aren't you taking this seriously?
Yeah.
And I was just like, because people call me every day for shit like this. Because Bacon Bitch got big and everybody wanted it everywhere. We had like 6,700 franchise requests at one point. Yeah, it wasn't in real life. And I refused to do it because I knew that the brand wasn't ready and nobody was going to be able to run it with the environment.
They were making fake Bacon Bitches.
That makes a lot of sense.
Also.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's
you
wild.
needed to maintain the actual feel everywhere you went.
Right.
What was the name of the fake one in San Diego?
Yeah, Breakfast Bitch.
Wow.
So what happened was I had
about
to sue her actually eventually, and it made Jimmy Fallon. So I was trying my best not to do it. She copied my entire menu word for word, and then gave me a shout out in her website saying Miami's most iconic brunch place.
She had a McDowell's.
And it was
exactly that.
Yo, when I tell you the menu was word for word, it had the same bacon that we used, and at the time we were the only ones to use that bacon because it was really expensive bacon.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so obvious, and she was denying it. I'm just like, bitch. Oh my God!
In the nice way.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way when you came in there, they greeted you like, "Hey, bitch."
Yeah,
What's up?
exactly.
Exactly.
It's like, bitch.
Did you copy my whole shit?
Right, exactly. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what you're doing. Just tell me, and we'll figure this shit out.
1,000%.
What a wild bitch.
Exactly. What a wild bitch is right. Yeah.
No, honestly, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, so then it ended up, and I was like 6 months of me just trying to get her to realize you can't do that. Like, I had it copyrighted, I had everything done, you know? And I had to sue her because she didn't give me a choice. And I didn't want to do that because I don't like to do that to people, but I ended up getting on Jimmy Fallon because of that. And that was my first national shout out, you know? And that was big for us. And it was invaluable. You know, I think it cost me like $5,000 to sue her. And just getting on Jimmy Fallon.
But that came back twofold.
Twofold.
That's just like
try 48-fold.
24, 48.
And he actually made it really funny too, so I can use it.
Yeah,
you know?
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was really cool.
That's awesome.
And we kept getting copied. Like, there's a brunch bitch in Atlanta now, and just
After a while, you just get tired. I'm sure.
honestly, I'm used to it now. Everything she was copied.
On Uber,
everything
there's
I
a
do
bitch
is
don't grill my cheese.
what?
On Uber Eats.
That's
Yeah?
wow.
But they don't spell the bitch out. Yeah, I can't make this up. Bitch don't grill my cheese. I'm not making this up.
I don't think you're making it up. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And that's not as good as the name, by the way. Just being honest.
it's not.
No, you're gonna do
Even though
it. Do it.
bitch don't kill my vibe.
Right. Well,
Bitch don't kill my cheese.
Bitch don't kill my vibe is in all my stories.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, so that was something that I was used to by now, and it's still happening, you know, and it's gonna happen, but it doesn't matter. Let everybody have their shine. And Breakfast Bitch is still there, I think. But you know, and then the girl ended up going to jail for stealing Jumana kids' money, and there's gonna be a bunch of shit going on. That's what happens to these type of people, man.
I agree.
Karma is
It's not only
undefeated.
one time. Yeah, it's not only a one-time thing.
Karma
They
is
usually
not-
like that.
Exactly. Karma is undefeated.
They're never doing one scheme.
Yeah,
They got a whole bunch
it's
of
who you
shit
are.
going on.
Yo, dog.
You know what I mean? If you're capable of doing it once,
So
it's who
like
you
all
are.
of this shit as it built up, like it burnt you out basically, right?
Yeah, I mean, Corona.
Did you end up doing MGM, though?
So I ended up signing the lease during Corona. I ended up going out there and seeing the desert of like I Am Legend Vegas, where the Las Vegas Strip was.
Oh, it's Corona time.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
nobody on the road.
That could be another world. Yeah.
Just me. Just me.
It wasn't exactly. Said he was at the slot machine. It wasn't going.
I'm betting on cricket.
The table tennis game in the back.
Russian table tennis.
That's my second home. That's my second home. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care if nobody goes.
Yeah, we back. We back. 2023. We back.
Yeah, so that was insane. And that's actually where I thought of my next idea, which we're going to talk about a little later.
Okay.
Was that week while I was there, like I really had nothing to do. You know, I couldn't build any more concepts. Like I wasn't really doing much. And I was out there with my team, and I was like, and I actually told MGM this idea that I had, and they were like, Chris, focus on the restaurants, please. Like straight like that. And I was like, you're right.
Stick to what's best.
You're right.
Stick to
You're
what
right.
you know.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
They told them to shut up and dribble.
Exactly. Correct.
Yeah.
But at the time, I had no leverage, so I was like, yes, sir. And I shut up and dribbled. You know, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
So, and while I was there, I ended up brokering a deal, and they ended up giving me a nightclub as well. They ended up doing shush for me there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right.
Right on Raiders Way. They gave me a really good location. And so I had all that going on. And when I had all that going on, like I decided to build a team around me. Because remember, I was the one-man executive for all this. Like I had nobody helping me besides my managers and
That's
the
so
floor.
wild.
And my mom.
It's literally impossible to do. I can't believe
Shout
you
out
even
to your
ran
mom.
multiple businesses.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Even more than one. Just two.
Doing
Just
the
even two. You said you had
finance,
like, yeah,
the
exactly.
operations, the
It was like
strategy,
it was like 8.
You weren't sleeping.
No.
Literally weren't sleeping.
No, I
around the
wasn't
clock.
sleeping.
Yeah.
And when Corona happened, I slept less.
Yeah.
And I worked more. Everybody else had time off. I don't think I've ever worked that much in my life. I was building this shit with my bare hands because
literally,
literally, I built the St. Petersburg
Those
location
paints
with
and
my bare
spots,
hands.
yeah.
I can't see handsome, but I'm sure his eyes are lighting up right now.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm like, what?
And the new one in
His bare
Miami
hands. He's
built out my
this
bare
is my
hands.
guy right here.
Yeah,
I have a new best friend.
he gets me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that was a crazy time, but I was like, I'm gonna go all in on this, and if I'm gonna work out of this and grow out of this, I have to hire a team. So I hired a team. I brought the best nightlife guy I knew. I brought the best operator I could find. I brought the best executive chef I ever worked with. Tao Group was the executive chef of the whole entire company, and we built an all-star team. And I was excited.
Sounds like it.
We were all excited. We were all excited, and you know what? When we moved to the new location, it worked. Okay. We started doing obscene numbers and obscene volume, and we just couldn't even handle it. And we know what we're doing. So in my head, I was like, they're gonna have to run this while I go build Vegas eventually, and that's what the idea was. I already had signed Vegas. We put up 200. So me and my mom put the money up for Vegas, $250K for the security deposit, because my business couldn't afford it.
Right.
And because I was like, I can't let this go. Like my dream my entire life was to have a restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip. Like we've been going there for our whole lives, and wasting all of our money there, and as a dream, imagine being there, and working there, and
making money there.
Like and the stigma is you can't get on the Strip. That's a stigma, right?
Yeah.
And it's you're right. You can't get on the
exactly.
Strip.
Yeah,
like it's
no.
not.
It's long-term businesses there. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah,
And when you get there, you stay there.
exactly, yeah.
And these are real big
Yeah.
business. We're talking about you do $20 million without even trying. A year. So it's real money.
That's wild.
So so I was very excited about that, and I had to build towards that, and I was like, listen, if I'm going to try to do this, I'm going big, and we're going national with this. And at the time, it was very obvious that it was going to be a national brand. So we went all in on it, and I busted my ass and pumped out a couple locations. I built eight new restaurants in 16 months.
Oh my goodness.
All across where?
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know
Florida.
that's possible.
Florida,
wow, bro.
Florida. Yeah, it was
I'm being serious.
three chicken spots, 4 bacon bitches, one other one, and the one's in Vegas. So it was 3 and 3, and then 2. Yeah. So it was crazy.
I mean, I'm sure it's a difficult question to answer. I just find it kind of interesting how you were able to give off that responsibility to someone else, even though they were the best in the industry, to trust them.
It was hard.
Yeah, exactly. To trust them, to know that they're going to run your business. People always try to steal from people's businesses.
Oh,
So,
in this industry, in the
yeah.
hospitality industry, people steal from me every day.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you kind of just knew it was
So
a given.
you know that you're gonna get take a loss in some
Exactly,
type of
yeah.
ways from
You
people
have
stealing.
to budget it. You have to
Wow,
budget it, yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
You
like-
budget for the
You
L.
budget for the L.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right.
Amazon does
No,
that,
exactly.
actually.
Big businesses do in general.
Yeah.
They're going to take L's, so they
shrink
just
it, shrink it.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
yeah.
that's why the hospitality industry is really hard, because there's so many ways to lose. And you lose from bad publicity. You lose from something happening outside. You lose from your employees. You lose from just not being cool anymore. How do you stay relevant? Like, there's so much to lose from.
Yeah.
But when you win, you win.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Win big, yeah.
You win big. Your
That's
cash
the
flow's
risk
good.
factor.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and once you go all in and you do it, then you're happy. You know?
No question.
So when I was in Vegas, eventually, I got all Florida straightened out. My team that I took on was running Miami for me, and I moved to Vegas by myself. I drove there in my car with all my shit in the back, and I moved into this crazy house.
Time frame.
This is 2000. This is recently. This is 2021 November.
Okay.
Oh wow, yes, yeah.
Or maybe a little bit before November.
So close to retirement.
Close to retirement, yeah. So when I moved out there, I already had everything done. I had the money raised to build them, the venues out there, and excuse me. And then this is a little bubbly. I'm used to that. And I honestly didn't like living there. I had a beautiful house, basketball court, pool, jacuzzi, garage. I never even lived in a house before that. Like,
is there any
Sounds
type of
amazing.
community in Vegas, or is it just more?
No, there's
Like, see how Miami, you
Question,
said you got to know the people.
Yeah.
How was
There's
it?
the hospitality community
Okay,
there, but
okay.
but it's not the same.
Okay.
There's no culture in Vegas.
Right.
There's not that there's much
Money-
more
money
culture.
is
in
probably
Vegas.
it, right?
Yeah, most people probably
Yeah.
come from out of state. I'm
They all
assuming,
come
right?
out of
Yeah,
state.
yeah, exactly.
They all
yeah.
come from out of state.
Yeah, I don't see anybody growing up in Vegas.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so there it's like it's
Bryce
a little
Harper.
different.
Bryce Harper
Succeeding,
from
though,
Vegas.
it's
Sorry,
different.
yeah.
Yeah.
He
So I really didn't like it, honestly. And I was busting my ass, and I was dealing with bullshit from my partners back home. And the guy who started it with me was giving me a headache, and he always did. And probably a couple of years earlier, I found out he was a fucking bank robber. It was insane.
Wow.
Like, he didn't tell me about it. Like, it was just like my life has been a move.
That's pretty major.
That
The
was-
bank robber.
that
I don't
was-
think I know one bank robber.
That was how.
And we know a lot of shady people.
Yeah, exactly. Neither did I.
Especially in our family.
That's about this. I didn't want to say that.
Once an episode.
but
Once an episode
Yeah,
has
yeah,
a message
yeah.
to our family under the bus.
I'm being honest.
we never checked that box off though, man. I don't know.
Fuck, we're missing a bank robber.
Bank
Welcome to
robber.
my
We
life.
got,
Jesus.
That's
My life.
crazy.
Yeah, so like but I couldn't at the time I learned it. It was like
Yeah.
2.5 years in. What the fuck am I gonna do then?
Nah, for
You're
sure.
all
I'm
in.
already
That's
all
it.
in. Like I couldn't do much more. So I let it rock. But I also knew once you do something
Potentially,
like that,
well, yeah,
you
yeah.
know what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
You know at the end of the day what's gonna happen.
for sure.
So he disappeared for a while, and then next thing you know, I got a lawsuit in the mail, just saying crazy shit and telling me. And I went and saw him, and he's like, "Oh, I just did it to get your attention." I was like, "I know, but you could have just called me."
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it ended up being, ended up all getting dropped. Everything was cool.
Yeah.
He's like, "I want to get bought out." I was like, "Perfect. Let me know the number." I was gonna pay him a lot more than I should have, just because I have confidence in myself, and I know where I can take this shit.
Yeah.
You
Gotcha.
know? And I also at that point I was really good at what I did. Like I knew I've been through it all already. I did it all already. I know how to do this shit.
Yeah.
I know what's gonna work. And then we sat at the table to sign. He never came, and I thought that was
shit.
very strange. I didn't know what was going on, and it went quiet for a while, and everything was. The lawyers were going back and forth. The lawyers are the worst people in the world. Sorry to tell you.
My sister's an attorney, by the way. She works in family
She's
law,
like-
and
she's
she
an
takes
exception.
care of the Queen's youth.
That guy's a corporate paralegal. He ain't shit.
Close enough, right? Me.
Make me feel better.
He's talking about corporate law,
talking
not
about-
family law.
I know, man. I'm just trying to make money, man.
Oh man. So
Trying to feed my family, man.
when I'm out in Vegas,
Yeah.
Vegas, shit starts getting weird, and I start getting a couple different things. And right the week before I left, I got a lawsuit in the mail, and it was an extortion lawsuit. Tried to extort me, and 95% of it was fake, and 5% of it was real. And,
wild.
yeah, it was insane.
Jeez.
And I looked at it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't. Everybody knows this ain't true. And they used it for leverage because they wanted to buy me out, which I didn't know yet.
Oh, so this was not just him. Did he have multiple? Were there multiple?
Oh, it was just him.
You're talking about they in terms of his legal team.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just
Okay.
him.
And this is Bacon Bitch.
This is everything.
There's the same guy. Yeah, but he's
This is
involved in
everything.
Bacon Bitch. He's involved in.
No, he was the
Shush.
partner that I brought that put the 300 in when I went down.
Got it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, from
Okay.
Queens.
We've been together forever. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the whole time.
Yeah.
He's a Queens dude too.
Yeah, from here. So we
He's
did all
older,
that.
so like we don't consider him like
No,
one
he
of us,
he's
but,
older.
like,
Yeah, he ain't one of
Okay.
us. Yeah, he
Yeah.
ain't one of us.
Is he Italian?
No,
Okay.
You want to rip it?
You had a rant already?
I don't want no beef with Kelly, bro.
I was gonna say Anthony gonna come to
What do you got
you
for
for
Italians?
right?
Nah, it just sounded a little schemy, you know.
They're capable. They're capable. They're just like us.
Yeah.
From Fresh Meadows.
The best thing about growing up in Queens is that when I move somewhere else, that there's no color to me.
Yeah.
Everybody's the same.
Exactly.
And it's not like that everywhere.
No, it ain't like
not
that everywhere. We know.
It's not
Yeah.
like that everywhere. And when I got there, like I talked to everybody. Everybody's cool. Back then,
Yeah.
they were even worse than they are now. Like
Yeah.
there was a divide. There was divides everywhere. I just didn't see that. And ignorantly, I just come from. I didn't even see it in other people sometimes.
Yeah.
Dog, this is New York.
It's
that's
so-
not happening here the way
Exactly.
it happens everywhere
Exactly.
else.
But you don't until you leave here, you don't really
That's when-
appreciate it.
yeah.
I could only imagine. Honestly.
And when I left,
Yeah.
I appreciated growing up here because of that reason. Because I was a melting pot, and I didn't even recognize racism
Yeah.
from where we grew up, which is
If
nice.
you grew up in Florida, we would have never been friends.
Correct?
You would have
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
spit on me.
Well, I don't know
It's
about
possible. Once again. Once again. We're only talking about possibilities here. We're not talking. It's not,
that. I don't know about that. But man, that was a tough
right?
one.
I know, right?
Yeah, that was
Is that who you think he is outside of Queens?
Yeah, how long you had that bottle in?
Like,
Yeah, in his pocket, like,
I know who you really are.
you think Handsome got shit to say about Italians?
I've been wanting to get it off my chest.
Yo, we need this Chetty on camera more.
I gave him a full cup, man. I gave him
I
a
have
full
no
cup.
idea.
That's full cup, Jack.
We're being good right
He
now.
said like 3 sentences and they all hit.
We're being good right now.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
All right, let's circle back.
we can
circle
tell you
back,
some
yeah,
stories.
Circle back. This is where shit got ugly.
Yeah, it got ugly.
And
so,
this is prior to your retirement.
This is right before the retirement.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and when I found all that shit out, I knew in my heart that that's not what I wanted to be a part of. Because at that point in my life, I had no negative shit at all. No negative people. I cut everybody negative out of my life. Everything's been great. And I was very positive. I slept amazing every single night. Amazing. I can imagine, like, I went out of my way to make sure all my employees were taken care of. I went out of my way to make sure I do everything I say I was going to do when I do it. So, like, I had nothing to worry about, really, besides making sure that I supported my 250 employees at all times.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was able to do it, and which made me very happy inside. No joke. And before I retired, I didn't even take a salary for the last 6 months because I wanted to make sure that my company was stable.
Dope.
You know?
Yeah.
So at the end of the road, that all happened, and I got it started, and it worked. I took less to leave. I still did okay. I still did pretty well. But
Did it hurt to separate from but your baby? Like, you created that shit.
at the time, honestly, I was tired, driven into the ground, and I made a decision for myself that I sort of outgrew my businesses, and I was
Okay.
ready for something bigger. And one of my talents is whatever is I have vision, and I can see in the future almost, and I have great creative vision. And I
That's
was
your
like,
gift, yeah.
it is my gift.
Yeah.
And I was like, this ain't gonna change. And I was so seasoned in business at the time, in all these different businesses that I started, that I knew that if I took that and put it towards something with a bigger ceiling, that I would be unstoppable. And Bacon Bitch to me was an amazing concept that can go national, but in 10 years, maybe I have 30 locations.
Right.
And I got to tell you, and not to sound a certain way, but it doesn't get me excited anymore. It really doesn't. So I'm like, I'm not gonna really just put everything on the line and not sleep and go across the country and the stories you hear about entrepreneurship being lonely is real.
Yeah.
I was traveling the United States at all times by myself.
Facts.
Like, it gets lonely. It really does. Like, I'm pretty good at talking to people. I'll talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm good at that. I have great social skills, and I love talking to people. I love people, but at the end of the day, you're by yourself everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
That's real.
Yeah.
So
You're an only child, so you're used to that.
Right.
But even so,
that's
like,
why I
it
was able
still
to make it
gets
so
lonely.
long.
Yeah.
Right.
But even still, like
Yeah,
you
for
said,
sure.
It catches
There's,
up, though.
there's limited people who are
Yeah.
gonna join you on that journey. Obviously, who's gonna have that drive.
There's
and
a lot of
everything.
loneliness
Yeah.
that goes along with it, and it was okay for me for a while. But I'm like to myself, do I really want to do this forever? So that was the reason. That was the real reason, and why I was like, you know what, I need a break, and I need to take some time off, and I just need to focus something. And then I know my ideas are insane. And before I started all this shit, I had crazier ideas, but like he said earlier, we didn't think they were possible.
Yeah.
Right. And now I knew they were possible.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, if I just cash out here and then take some time off, hang out with my mom, travel a little bit, work on my house. Like I built half of a house in St. Petersburg just to clear my mind.
Probably need to recharge the battery a little bit.
Oh, it drove me to the ground, and I needed a healthy relaxation. Yeah. And I thought it was just going to be a couple months. It ended up being 8.5 months now, which I never expected. And I'm going crazy these days.
So when did you retire? Like what day did you say,
I
what?
Cashed out.
Let's pull it out.
December 3rd.
December 3rd.
December
2021, December 3rd. Okay.
Gotcha. Signed the paperwork. And the day I signed the paperwork, I'll throw you a little curveball here. The day I signed the paperwork, December 3rd, the next day, I figured out that the 3 partners that I brought on to help me and that I took out of their corporate jobs that never
All-Star team.
The All-Star team that never had equity or anything before in their lives, gave them their first chance at being an owner. Wow. And stopped working for these big corporations that were just raping them for their, for their hearts.
Right,
really.
right. Time is money, man.
Right. They colluded with my partner from the beginning, and I was negotiating against myself the entire time.
Wow.
Entire time.
That's some bullshit.
Bro, that would change my perspective of life in a lot of ways, man. And I would have trust issues a little bit at that point, to be honest with you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'm being modest.
A little bit.
I don't want to go all in. Maybe you didn't feel that way.
That's why he's back here with his friends that he's known
I hear
since
you.
childhood.
I hear you.
Like,
I hear you, man. I hear
I
you.
think I'm back. Yeah.
That was a big eye opener.
Especially when you're at that level, you always feel like you have a target on your back. When that happens, I'm sure
especially
even more of a reason. You know what I mean?
Especially when you do them right.
Exactly.
Right. I took care of them, and they all got paid the entire Corona.
Yeah.
And I actually took one off. That one was furloughed. One didn't have a job at all, and I gave them a job and paid them a lot of money.
Wild.
We're talking about $300,000 I paid them a year, and gave them equity for free. I didn't even make them pay for it, and they ended up stabbing me in the back.
Yo, I got to be your friend, man.
It's all good. Yeah.
Give me that deal, man. I'm not gonna do you like him.
You showed up to the party late.
I won't do you like him, man. I promise you, I'm different.
You showed up.
You're about a year too late.
I won't do you like him, man.
Yeah.
Vin's over here like, yeah, man. No new friends. Hold on a second.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the curveball that happened in the long run. And the worst part was when I went home to sign all the paperwork and shit, I got back to my house in Vegas. One of them had been out there with me, just introducing me to a bunch of people around town because he was from Vegas. He stole all my shit. 25 G's worth of my shit.
Like physically, his shit.
Yeah.
Like
shoes.
His belongings.
Shoes.
Was he Puerto
iPad.
Rican?
No, he was a white guy.
Was he from Fresh Meadows?
I was going to say the Bronx, but yeah.
I understand that. Yeah. And I was just like, when I got back, I was like, really, man?
Yeah.
Like the house wasn't even torn up. Like it was just just the shit was taken out. Like it was so obvious. And then I confirmed it later. Right. I saw my iPod pop up with my fucking, my Apple shit.
Right.
And his location. Exactly. Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like
I know now.
This shit is in the Bellagio right now.
Exactly. Like, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's wild.
But listen, like at this point in my life, like I wanted to kill him, but I'm past all that shit. Like I haven't gotten. I fight in a different way these days. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm a big proponent in like that karma will take care of it all. It always does.
Yeah.
And I was ready to leave anyway. So this was just like the cherry on top that I made the right decision.
Yeah.
This is the push you needed.
Yeah. The push
in one way.
In a way, it's like karma, like giving you all the, all the bullshit, and then it's like the cut off, and that's it. You move
remember
on
the story
from there,
I told y'all earlier about how I left Wall Street and it was a big disappointment?
Yeah.
And that was the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is the next one. Same idea. I left this. It was a great run. I did very well. And then it didn't end up the way it should have. But I can almost guarantee you that's the next one.
Yeah.
That's the next thing that propels me to the next chapter of what's going to be the rest of my life.
If you want a silver lining, I was going to say, you were ready for retirement,
I was.
and then these guys put a battery in your back by doing that almost in a way. So that is the silver lining.
They have
that.
no
So they
idea.
can see
Exactly.
So they
They
can
have
see
no
the-
idea.
But you weren't thinking that way at retirement stage, exactly.
wasn't.
December 3rd. You
I
weren't
was,
thinking that way.
when I was thinking that way, I was like, I need to take a nap.
Yeah.
and now I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Right.
He took it personal.
Yeah.
That's like that personally.
He took it personally.
That's what take me. Once you personally
Like that.
invade my space,
I hear you.
that hurts a little bit.
I hear you.
But it's okay. It is what
Of
it is.
course.
And I feel good about everything. Of
course.
At the end of the day, I'm very okay.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. And I'm back home, like you said. the best thing I ever did was start coming back home more, and I did it quick.
Yeah.
You know.
So that retirement lets you, obviously, the refresh, but also coming back to your common grounds, being around your people, seeing what's what. And I'm sure that fueled
went to
everything
San Diego for Vin's bachelor party, and I think that kind of helped because like.
Oh, you're married? All right, good man.
He's coming. He's gonna come in right now. So
he's coming in right now.
He's married too.
I'm gonna step out right now. But yeah, like we went to San Diego for his bachelor party, and that was the first time we seen him in a while, and we're just catching up, and like it's like nothing.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
When you see your boys after a long
when it's
time,
real,
right,
exactly.
It just picks back up like there's nothing left. So I think it was just that spark.
Next thing you know, me and Teddy are foot racing in the middle of the street in a suburban San Diego town.
After 6 shots.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yo, how did you get so fast?
Why does it always get you talking shit to people? I'm faster than you. Like,
And we would race our whole lives. We would race our whole lives. And it would always go back and forth. Like,
I've seen him race in the streets. I'm like, what are you doing?
Somebody must have beat me when I was a little kid.
As adults, right?
Traumatized.
Never happened again.
Childhood trauma.
All right. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna let Vin step in so we can get into the next idea, the next step.
Introduce yourself, young man.
Introduce yourself, Vin.
I'm Vin, Queens.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Me and Chris been friends for 25 years.
At least.
Nice.
Yeah.
Big fan of the show.
Nice. Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate the first thing you said was Queens.
Reppin'.
Yeah, exactly.
Tula Bagels.
Exactly.
Let's
That's
not
family,
forget,
man. That's family.
Family affair.
Yes, sir.
Queens Bully, Tula Bagels, and we about to talk about some next level shit.
Yes, sir.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
Thank you for
I'll tell you a quick story
giving
first
this to us, bro.
to really resonate on how close me and Vin are. So when 9/11 happened, my mom was working. She's a cop, and she was in the city, and I didn't hear from her for a couple of days.
Jeez.
And his mom was the one who picked me up from school when it happened, and I stayed with them for 3 or 4 days.
Wow, man.
Yeah, that's how they lived on the block for me. They were my It's just me and my mom growing up. I didn't have really family,
Yeah.
so they were my family. Him, his brother, his mom.
That's everything right there, man. That's everything we need to know.
We sat
honestly,
in his backyard yesterday at his house he grew up in, and the house they live in now, and we talked for like 4 hours, and that's the stuff that I came home for.
Yeah.
You know, that's the stuff you can't, no matter what happens
Can't put
in
a
your
price
life,
on that, man.
you come home and you chop up those stories and you can just be yourself.
Yeah.
There's nothing that they haven't seen or done they see me my worst and my best.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's the best part about being home.
For sure.
It really is.
Those relationships are
especially-
irreplaceable, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking now about a new endeavor after facing what you faced.
Yeah.
So it's to surround yourself with people that, whether you're fucking up or down,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't make a difference.
Exactly.
And he supported me my entire life, whether I was up or down.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And that's,
That's not even a question.
Yeah.
I came back home for those reasons. Obviously, you heard what happened, and I don't really have trust issues because I got to trust. I know I can't do it all alone. That's something I learned a long time ago too. I was very stubborn growing up. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I always thought I could do it alone. I'm here to tell you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
I know.
Anything you can't do alone. Like y'all doing this podcast. I mean, if one of y'all think you can do it yourself, you're absolutely.
Let me tell you right now, this show does not move without this guy.
Yeah.
Because
And I can't set up a light. So I can't do any of that.
Not only that, I'm like the best host on earth.
Yeah.
So when it's a
That's how you do it. Like he's the best guy in the world, but I'm the best one here. Just so y'all know.
You throw a compliment back your way.
He's quiet. You understand? He's quiet.
That is true.
He's like, whoa.
If it were me, we would have stopped at episode 3. Every week in and out is like,
is
these
true.
are the topics. This is what we're going to talk about.
That is true.
I just show up.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's what you need, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to play their part.
One thing I get from Vin and known Vin all these years that you could be like poor, a bum, and he'll treat you the same as if you're running like eight different hotels, 8 different restaurants. You know what I mean? Like, so Vinny.
How do you feel about that compliment, Vin?
I appreciate it.
No, yeah.
I find
That's,
it pretty on the spot
that's
like
a
that.
good, want to say right hand that you have.
I work
You know what I mean? Yes.
I hope that he's my right hand.
That's
I
awesome,
would love to see
yeah.
that. So.
I think so, but and I know so. He's always been my right hand. But
That's
in
awesome.
this new thing that we're doing together, he's the reason why I came back home.
Dude, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, I want
break
to-
this
yeah.
news.
Because
this is-
everything that happened, I want, you guys said it perfect before I even could say it myself, that I came home to be with the people that I know
Right.
from basically when I was born.
Yeah.
It feels like. I don't know when I first started remembering shit. I remember these people.
That's the point.
exactly, yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And that's what it's about. And
When you became you,
The things that matter.
these are the
things that
people
you remember
that
that
were
matter.
the good, the bad, the
Exactly,
ugly. We've all been there for each other.
Of course,
No
yes.
matter what. When I moved down to Miami, obviously I worked my ass off for a long time, and I kind of alienated myself a little bit by moving so far. And granted, they didn't come to see me as much as they should have.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But those flights were cheap, man.
But it's okay. But it's okay, you know. But because once I come home, it's all back to normal.
Yeah.
Again, you know,
Nice.
and that's awesome. And I would love. And the reason why I'm sitting here with you guys and sitting at Siraj's restaurant and sitting at Queens Bully and sitting on the Purple Cups is because I want to bring what I learned and what I did back home and make us all something.
Yeah.
Dude, you gave us a great tip prior to the show. We're not going to discuss it on here, but you said, hey, you should do this and make it consistent. So then now when it's seen, it's like, okay, we got to mess with these people.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
I know how to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what it's about. And it's honestly, and I only know that because I've been a part of it already and I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's just experience.
Yeah.
You know, just doing it. And you know, I'm pretty good at business and vision and stuff like that, but I don't expect anybody else to know that because you have to be taught it.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, a great quality is you accepting the advice and not pushing back on it. I'm saying, oh, wow, that's a good idea. Thank you. Because most people, especially from where we grew up, we'd be like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't tell me what to do. Stop.
Right.
Yeah.
How many episodes have you recorded, buddy?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
exactly.
How's your podcast doing?
Everybody thinks they know best.
Correct, exactly. But when you figure out you don't know best,
Yeah.
that's when you learn, and that's when you could become
I see
successful.
the tattoo in your arm, man.
Yeah, remember, it must make sense. I got that after all these people did that shit because I knew in my heart it was going on. I'm not gonna lie to you,
Your intuition's not going to.
Yeah.
You're not going to
never
fail.
failed.
Exactly.
but I also thought about it, and if I would have addressed it, I wouldn't have been able to grow as high and grow what I did, and I wouldn't. There was no winning out of it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I did what I did for a reason, and I knew it all. And in my heart, I was just like, "You gotta get the fuck out of this, Chris.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta get out. This isn't this. You're much bigger and better than this." And that's why we're here doing this, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to announce this because after 8.5 months retirement, we're gonna start a world athletic ring that's gonna stand beside the 4 major sports in the United States.
Wow.
That's
At least.
That is dope.
Cheers to
Give
that.
us-
Cheers to that, man.
Cheers.
I'm not going
Yeah,
to turn
yeah.
the cup, though.
Cheers,
That's
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't even have some.
This guy, you know what,
Yeah.
man?
Is that why you guys fake it the whole time?
What are you
You don't have
baking?
Nah, I
shit
wasn't
in the
faking
What are you babysitting?
cup? Is that why you do that shit? What is that? No, put that.
Yeah, nah, it needs to be in a purple
You
cup.
gotta pour. Yeah, you gotta pour. You gotta pour in the
I'm
purple
going to do the
cup.
B-Man.
Yeah,
Yo,
it
shout out
needs
to
to-
B-Man.
Wait a second. So you're not gonna drink champagne on purple cups of champagne?
Yeah, man. There's champagne in here, bro.
All right.
We trying to
Nah,
put
we
it in a spot. There's
need to
champagne in
cheers.
here.
We need to cheers
I'm
to
trying to make you on brand.
I like to mix match.
Cheers to
Hey,
Denver,
here you go,
man.
here you go.
This is
Here you
big.
go.
This is
Here you
big.
Cheers.
For sure. Cheers to that. Cheers to war.
No.
Yeah, don't cheers to war because war is not a good thing. But war is a good thing.
In the sense of
We're about to give war a whole different definition.
yes, exactly.
That's what you guys are about to do. And I love this, man. This makes me – I'm excited because you made a good point. I hope you make this point on the show in terms of where sports has been the last 75 years in America.
Yeah. So I'll tell you the reason why I did this. And before I tell you the reason, let me explain what we're going to do. So the idea of this is to create a real competition league. And I personally feel that competition has been taken out of sports as it's grown in popularity, as sports betting has been implemented inside of it legally, and just literally as we've grown older. You know, the actual content on the TV that we watch isn't real. And the only reason why it does what it does, and it is what it is when it comes to doing the numbers and people watching it, is because of the fandom.
Yeah.
And because that we grew up with this shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we grew
That
up
shit's
Yankee. I don't know about
ingrained,
you. You grew up a Yankee fan?
Yankee fan.
Nah, he's a Yankee fan.
We grew up Yankee fans,
Yeah.
and the Yankees could be the baseball can tank, and I would go and tell everybody that Derek Jeter was my idol. Like it hits you in a different way because it's been around for 125 years.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's such a moneymaker. It owns the market. And
Dude, I left all sports behind, and no
get
matter
rid of it.
what I do in life, the Jets will always hurt my heart.
right.
Doesn't matter what's
Knicks
going
are a perfect
on, bro.
example. I'm a big Knicks fan.
Yeah.
But I can't be a huge Knicks fan because I can't even watch them.
Yeah.
Like it's like they let us down
I'm
every
with
year.
you.
But
I'm with
I
you.
refuse. I refuse to be a Heat fan.
Yeah.
Like I root for the Heat because when I made money. But
Nah, I get
besides
it.
that-
It makes sense. No, it makes perfect sense.
But,
It does.
but besides that,
Thanks.
like, and the Knicks are just.
Of course, yeah.
There's nothing to
But
say.
your heart can't fight it.
Right, but I still got to tell you, I really want them to do good every year, even though they suck, and I know they suck. But
they
that's
do.
But those are the
He
reasons
wants what's best
why.
for them.
Yeah,
I do exactly. Great words. I would wish the best upon them,
Right, yes.
but I know it's.
I love you once, I love
You
you
never hear that in
forever.
sports. I wish the best upon them.
Right, I know it's a long.
You never hear that in sports anymore. Right?
Exactly. So it's like but those are the reasons why I truly believe that all sports, besides maybe football, are still so popular. Because basketball is the best example these days. Because basketball, there's no competition anymore. The whole regular season is a joke. Nobody plays. Remember the story about Steph Curry and the girl coming to the game and crying because she came to the game to watch Steph Curry play. Then he flew her out to Golden State to watch the game. But that happens every night. Yeah, no. Like, load management is real. And they're doing that because it's a business. And they want to make sure they get to the playoffs and win the championship. But
they have contracts that they need to. Yeah.
Right. But it's all, and every player is their own business these days,
exactly.
which I love. But then it hurts the product, which is what we watch on TV.
It affects the game, bro.
Right. And soccer is a big one because it's 3 hours long, and it's actually not. The actual product of soccer isn't good to watch, isn't fun to watch. If you bring somebody that doesn't understand it, or doesn't have no dog in the race, no pony in the race, it's not a good product to watch.
That's a great example for that reason, yeah.
It's not a good product to watch.
No, really, because it's like the oldest sport, though.
The Dominicans are Guyanese people. We have no soccer teams.
Well,
that might be the reason I see it that way. That might have
but he was making that point. If you don't got a dog in the race, like,
right.
well,
exactly.
Really,
And it's funny. We were at his house yesterday, like I said, and talking to his sister, and she's telling the same thing. Like, I'm waiting for the shootout to come on. That's what I want to watch. You know what I mean? Like, but that's a real. That's a real opinion. That's a real opinion of somebody who doesn't really follow the sport but wants to watch something exciting on TV, right? Because if you watch a series on TV, once the series starts talking, you turn it off.
Yeah.
Once the baseball, like, we've been watching baseball for fucking 33 years old. I've been watching baseball for 33 years.
Yeah.
I'm still watching it. It sucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Baseball sucks.
It's
Baseball does suck.
I'm still watching it.
1,000%.
And it's in my blood. I'm Dominican.
And I still cry, bro.
Baseball sucks.
Right. And I'm still watching it though.
Yes,
so like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Why is when
The Mets haven't won yet.
Right, we like
That's
Lost.
why.
When we were growing up, me and him watched Lost, right?
Yeah.
Remember the
Lost
show
was
Lost?
fire, bro.
Right, but at the end it started getting boring.
I heard.
And it sucked.
I heard.
Right, at the end.
The ending was horrible.
But we
I haven't seen it yet.
We still watched it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because we were hooked.
Yeah,
But then
I'm
once it
lost.
started, I didn't even watch the season finale because it was so bad. So we
Good for you, man.
In entertainment, we stopped watching when it gets bad.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we watch sports every
It's a good point.
year.
It's a great point.
Every single year. So my view on that is that I want to put the competition back into sports. And the best thing, in my opinion, and basically from the data that I've read, in the national United States' opinion, is that March Madness is the most exciting sport there is, right? And the most exciting tournament, the most exciting everything, because these kids are playing for their life.
Yeah, those guys are going at it.
They're playing for
the
They really are, and I love that.
It's all about
if you have a good
Which may
tournament,
change a little bit now,
if you have a
by the
good tournament, you can actually get eyes on you. Make it
For
to the
sure.
NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're
No,
not
we're
one of
talking
those
about-
highly touted,
Happens all the
if you're
time.
not one of those one and
No, it
dones,
happens all the
but you
time,
have
literally, yeah.
Steph Curry,
Yeah.
monster series,
Exactly.
You know
That's
what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
John Moran as well.
there you go. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Jimmy Fredette.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Remember
Made
Jim?
it to
Yeah.
NBA because
40
of that.
points, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And then he couldn't make it, but he was a first round pick.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You know what?
he doesn't have the typical like size and frame. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
To make it to the NBA, but because he lit it up.
Yep.
Yeah. And they're giving their all in the NCAA tournament.
Leaving it on the floor.
there you go.
That might change a little bit. I just want to
Every
say.
game.
Yeah,
is
with the
so
money.
important.
Yeah.
So that's my point.
Yes, this is true. Right.
So I think it's even worse with college football now because they're making the super leagues and money has just injected itself.
Exactly.
So,
It's the pros and
so
cons.
much
It's good
in
for the
this.
players, but not good for the sport. You know?
Like all the teams are going to the Big Ten.
The opposite.
Yeah.
Opposite. That okay, you're right. It's good for the money's good for the
Yeah,
players.
exactly, in that way.
but not good for the sport.
Yeah,
right,
exactly,
right.
yeah.
So I'm thinking of it as like I said, the competition is really the main part of what I'm doing.
Okay, yeah, in that sense.
Right, and that's what is on the top
sure,
of my
yeah.
head. And the competition aspect of all this was the reason why I had the idea for the World Athletic Ring, which actually came to me in Las Vegas, in the what was that, Mandalay Bay I was at.
And this was prior to you lose everything.
Yeah, I thought of it then because I was bored, and my mind's always going. We're going to start with 8 sports, and these 8 sports are just something that we think that is a good baseline to create real competition for the next, hopefully, 100 years.
What are they?
So the sports that we're going to start with are wiffle ball, volleyball, beach volleyball, pickleball, cornhole, 1-on-1 basketball, soccer shootout, which we created ourselves, where the soccer shootout where the person shooting the ball will be the goalie for the other person, and they'll switch back and forth.
Oh,
Okay,
so
pretty cool.
okay.
That's pretty cool.
What am I missing, Vin?
We are missing. You said cornhole.
Yep.
We said there's another strategy game.
You said
Beer pong?
I was just going to say beer pong
That's
because I
it.
remember he
Yeah.
spoke about this before. Yeah.
Beer pong, and I'm missing one more.
Yeah.
But the reason that the idea of it is to make sure that we have a little strategy, make sure we have athleticism,
Yeah.
and then team, because beach volleyball is going to be the only team sport that we have in this, because everything else is going to be individualized to make sure that we can crown the best athlete
Okay.
in the world.
Well, there's my question now. So, is this open to former pro athletes? Is this you're gonna have just former collegiate athletes? Like
Yeah.
who's gonna be allowed
so like,
to be
let
in
me
this?
tell you the idea of it first. So the idea of this is going to be a 24/7 live league that will be on our own
24/7.
24/7.
Wow.
So we're going to have it in sectors.
Okay.
The 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. sector is going to be the amateur league, and that's where we're going to randomly pick every single week
Right.
to play in, whether it's any one of those competitions we talked about,
Okay.
to win it. And they're going to be the biggest cash prizes in every single one of those sports. But we'll take cornhole, for example. The largest cornhole cash prize is $40,000. Ours is going to be $100 every time we play. $100,000 to the winner. One winner. And that's it.
Well, two winners.
Well,
Because we're going to have
Good point.
men's competitions and female competitions.
Okay.
Each.
He's right.
And I know Handsome's next
No,
question.
yeah,
so
'cause
that's
he-
Is there cross comp?
So there are, cornhole,
You went
there's
to
a
go-
couple of
Right, there's a
things
couple
that
things we
can-
could
Yeah.
do.
But yeah, each competition we're going to have a men's competition and a female competition.
Yes.
You guys don't fear
Same
like
payouts.
lower ratings because of the female competition?
So
Doesn't matter to us. We're here for equality.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
that.
and then
So
also
your trophy's gonna be the same size.
6
Not like
inches
that.
for
You
the
know,
women.
get that-
Same
that was
quality?
ridiculous.
Oh, my God. I woke
That
up
was
this morning and he sent me
That
that
was
shit.
terrible. That was
I just-
terrible.
It's
I
embarrassing.
looked at it. I was
Yeah,
just
it
like,
really is. It really
this
is.
can't be real.
It's
This has
a
got to
real
be
slap in
fake.
the face. You can go get that made on Hillside Avenue.
No.
It
looks like-
it up like this.
I
looks
still
like I
think it was
peeled
a
off this
marketing
chocolate
ploy.
in
So bad. Yes,
It was a
yes.
marketing ploy. There's no
No.
way on
Has
God's
to be.
green earth.
Oh,
Genius.
my
That's
Like
real,
people
bro.
signed
And
off
that's
on that. It was
genius.
like,
So
oh,
y'all
that
better put a
looks
picture
good.
of this on this so they understand what this shit looks like.
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
Bob
Because it was
Bob.
unbelievable. And this is the problem in the world.
They had
by
the
the way.
Hallmark
for
trophy.
sure. I agree.
And by the way, I want to tell y'all something. With Bacon Mitch, my main point in why I did it was to support women and use the bitch word as a positive aspect in the world instead of a negative. And I really was able to accomplish that.
Right, you took the power away.
Not by patting myself in the back, but when people walked in, we called everybody a bitch.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, there was one person in 5.5 years that had a problem with it because we just made it
Was it
so
his dad?
positive.
It might have been.
Maybe.
That
I
made
don't
Because
no
know.
his
sense.
dad would have
been.
fucking
I mean,
flipped.
I ain't no bitch.
No, but you say that but when the girls are so
No, I know.
positive
I
about it.
agree with you. Yeah,
No,
my
when
dad
you're
wouldn't.
positive,
but-
there's a way to do it. You know what I mean? And
The
I like to-
energy is different. The tone is different.
I like to think that I helped make the word okay.
No, I agree.
I truly think I did, honestly.
I think that approach definitely
It helps.
makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So using that same idea, and also I've never hired.
It helped the optics were good, Josh. Who's
Exactly.
calling you a bitch?
Exactly. Everyone's getting called a bitch here. It's only me.
Babe, chill.
Tonight, now you walk
I'm
up
a
to your girl
bitch
like,
too.
hey, bitch. I'm like, in front of my girl, man, first date.
Yeah, I feel that. I've seen it too, man.
Yeah.
It's
You got to
been-
own it.
it's
Everyone
been-
else is getting
you
called a
gotta do
bitch.
it.
Exactly.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And if you don't like it, you better get the fuck
You
out.
don't ruin
you know?
everyone's time.
You're in the
But
wrong
eventually-
place, Chief.
Eventually, you just take it in.
Of course.
You know what I
You're not
mean?
going to ruin everyone's
Exactly.
You know, so.
And I have all of my managers were all women. Like I was really. I was.
I love this guy's business model.
Single mom household. You know, like
Yeah.
I support, and she was a boss bitch. Like she,
Yeah.
you know, was a cop and ran a shit. and
Shout
she-
out to her.
I like
Oh,
that.
For sure.
For sure, yeah.
I wouldn't be here without her, and she's the
Yo,
reason why.
I'm with you on that
Sure,
one.
man.
Yeah,
Same
it's-
story,
it's,
bro.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So because of all of my ideas with that, I really want. And by the way, I'm a big proponent of the WNBA. Not everybody else is.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
here
where
for
you
it.
and I are disconnected.
Yeah, it's
but-
okay. It's okay.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna fix it. Don't worry.
and that's my point.
and
Like
that's
I
what I'm
wanted
doing.
to ask you that. I'm like, yo,
I'm gonna fix it.
I'm excited for it because I need somebody to take that
Yes.
negative aspect away from
Correct.
it.
And it sucks because the reason why the WNBA can't pay their athletes and they can't get big is because they can't get the TV ratings and the ad revenue to pay the players.
Yeah.
Which sucks. And the NBA, you know, supports it. But with our aspect, we're gonna make sure that the women make exactly the same as much as the men.
Nice.
And that it might sound simple and it might sound regular, but it's not. It's not.
Not to them.
No, in the world right now. So the median for a WNBA athlete is 120 grand. The median for a tennis player is 22 grand. The median for a golfer is like I think it was 79,000.
That's nuts.
So and these are athletes on the male side that are making millions upon millions upon millions.
The worst.
It's
the worst of them are making that much.
Right, exactly. Like the minimum in baseball is 800,000.
Exactly.
Like it's like imagine. So that's something that I'm very like adamant about changing. And we're lucky that in our business model we're able to do that because of we're not just relying on ad money and so on and so forth. So we are going to be the number one sporting league that pays the most to women athletes. So our median is going to be at the floor 300,000, but it can go up to at least $1 million.
Yeah,
depending on how. And that's depending on us.
Yeah. No, I can believe that. As the league grows,
it's not depending. Right? Yeah. Correct. It's not even depending on the athletes as much as the rating. So as long as we promote it and blow it up the way I know we could, the athletes will make more money because something that we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to control the sports betting in our sport because we're going to own the rights to everything.
So that's going to be a part of a big part of the revenue model, correct?
Correct. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and you're keeping it in house. Is it going to be a FanDuel thing or is it just going to be?
No, we're not going to use FanDuel because they can't. Because the way we're going to structure everything, they can't take bets on our sport because of the way we're structuring the business model. And because of that, we're able to own the sports betting for our model. And then we're going to pay out our athletes, all of them, men or women, 1% of all of our ad revenue for each one of their events.
Oh, so you get a lot of athletes betting piece of what? That's pretty cool.
I love that business model. Period. Yeah. Basically, they're like they own equity in the company. Basically,
the better you do, the more you take.
Exactly.
They own equity in their matches.
Exactly.
In their events.
If you're still in the league at a certain point, you made it this far. You're still collecting.
Yeah.
You win one match.
All you got to do is win.
In this league, I'd want to be entertaining as well because you want to draw eyes to to your brand. Because if you feel like you're a part of it, you're going to go harder.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's
branding.
That's what he's saying. Like everything else has lost that competitive edge because it's so me-centered.
Yeah.
Right? It's like,
no, it's so business-centered.
Yeah.
Which is the problem. So we were watching the F1 race on, what was it, Sunday?
Last Sunday, yeah.
Last Sunday. And it was a great race. And I'm watching it, and I got to tell you, I never watched F1 before. I've always heard about it.
I have no clue how the sport works.
Yeah.
Is that Florida thing? Because I hear people in Florida go to actually the races.
Well, they had one in
Grand
Miami,
Prix, right?
They had one in Miami, yeah. And it was huge in Miami. It was bigger than the Super Bowl when it came. But I never watched it like on a TV before, and I never got into it. But him and his brother got me into to watch the game that day. And I went to go. The race. And I went to go watch it, and they were explaining to me as it goes. So I was like, all right, I picked one guy I wanted to win. And the guy was he was number one on the poll. I was like, all right, this guy's. But they told me he's never won a race before.
Yeah.
I was like, well, today's gonna be his day.
Yeah.
Right. So I just threw $125 on him. Whatever. I didn't think he was gonna win, but I wanted to have a horse in the race.
Yeah.
Or
I hear you.
Know what I mean?
Give you the
right. Give me an oomph. Give me something.
Yeah.
Right. So we were watching the race, and he's fucking winning.
Yeah.
He's playing defense. He's not letting anybody by him. I'm like, this is good. This is great. Like I was excited. I was jumping out of my seat, and this fucking place was packed. There was not one seat empty. I couldn't believe it. And we're in New York City.
What is it? 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning.
Sunday.
On a
Sunday.
Nuts.
Packed.
It was insane. I couldn't believe it. When
Number
he
one
told me,
spectator, no?
Yo, there was not one seat not taken.
Nuts.
It was like I said, at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Nuts.
I couldn't believe it. So we're watching the race and we're getting into it, and I'm jumping up, I'm screaming, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they were like, oh yeah, the guy in first place is going to pull over to the side, so the guy in second place goes first. I'm like, what?
I would have thought the same.
Yeah, if I got money on that, I'm tight.
But even so, like I'm watching the game, I'm like, he's killing it. Like, why does he just try to win? Play defense. Let's go. Right. And he's like, no, he's going to pull over because the other guy's got a better chance at winning. I was like, so he's not even going to try?
So it's an individual sport, but they race in teams. So they're both Ferrari drivers. So the Ferrari team feels like the guy in second's got a better shot. So they tell the guy in first, yeah, we know you're winning, but
for the whole tournament, how does that point-wise, right?
So they get more
exactly.
Points
That's what I
as a
figured.
team. It's
Talladega
more
Nights.
team.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
than individual.
Yep.
Exactly. Like you said, Talladega Nights. So you play in the same team. I mean, you're individual, like you said.
Right.
Dude
obviously
pulled over
matters.
for Ricky
But if you're not
Bobby,
going to win the
Ricky
whole
Bobby
tournament,
win,
exactly. This guy has more points in the tournament, but he's part of the same team. Let him win because it benefits the whole team.
But think about what the product is like when you watch that.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know the strategy behind it at the time.
Yeah.
Like I was learning it as I was going. But I was watching the product, and I'm so excited for this guy fucking winning. And he's doing it. I want him to try.
Yeah.
Just try to win. I know you might have the method, but he didn't even try to win.
Yeah.
He literally, they were all winning. He went and pulled over to the side, slowed down, let the other guy in front of him go, and got back behind him.
They come on.
And he had never won prior.
Never.
No.
His
Never won a race ever.
His team comes on the radio and they're like, "Yeah, it's time." Like,
What's the point of betting on that guy? He was never going to win.
well, he ended up winning.
Oh, he did?
But not because of that.
because of
There
that.
was a whole other
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
fluke. Yeah, but
Karma is
he
now
did.
defeated.
I was going to say, don't listen to me.
Karma's undefeated.
Don't listen to me for sports
100%.
betting.
No, but I didn't expect him to win.
Right.
I was fucking screaming, by
Yeah.
the way. I was the whole entire bar understood what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? This is what you brought me here for? I mean, are you trying to get me into the sport? And this is what happens? Like, but it was the perfect example of how business got into competition.
For sure.
And sports.
Yeah.
And my goal and our goal in what we're going to do next is taking the business out of sports and having the real competition flourish and having that real competition be the driver behind the actual product, which is on TV that we're watching.
Yeah.
So we want to be excited. And one of the biggest things that what we are about in this is that the events are going to be between 20 and 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops, because we understand that people can't watch shit for long.
Attention span. No one
A
wants to do a
3-hour
3-hour
baseball game, a 3-hour soccer game,
Yeah.
it's just impossible.
Yeah.
Impossible. I went to the Rays game in the Yankees Rays game in Tampa, and after the fucking second inning, nobody was even around.
Yeah, I agree. It's like a
You know,
barbecue. It may as well be a barbecue. honestly,
Right,
yeah.
a barbecue with a bar.
Go
Yeah,
get a-
exactly.
Go get a drink, you go to the club.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
It's
they
just-
know nobody wants to watch
And
that.
there's a baseball game outside.
Exactly. And,
That's
so,
it, that's-
and that's when we're there. Imagine when you're home sitting on the
Yes,
couch. Like, what the
exactly.
fuck? What are you going to do then? You're going to go
Yeah.
to the fridge, grab as many beers as you can to get drunk and just pass
Yo,
out.
it's at the point my brother-in-law, avid Yankees fan. He's an older head. He just loves it. He only watches replays of those like shorts that they give like on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Wow.
that's how he
Like
keeps up with his
condense it,
team.
right,
man.
right.
That's
Yeah.
why TikTok is so
It's like y'all can't do it, bro.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because you need the short, and it makes a lot of sense. You know,
it does.
because we don't care about the long games unless it's exciting the whole time.
Yeah.
So and that's our thing. That if we put and by the way, I'm gonna let Vin get into it a little more, but we're gonna randomly select for their amateur league. I'll get back to it. The 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. is going to be our amateur league. The 4 p.m. to 12 p.m. is going to be our pro league.
Okay.
And then we're going to have an international league from 12 p.m. until 8 a.m.
I like that. That's cool.
Which will be done in Dubai.
Yeah.
And it'll be done in stages.
Wow.
The first
Cool.
year will be amateurs only. The second year we'll integrate the pro league. And the third year we'll integrate
I was saying, how you gonna bring in the international aspect?
It'll come the third year.
Nice.
You know, and it'll be a build up, but it's okay. You know, and along the way we'll still do okay. You know, we're in talks with a lot of huge production companies.
I was gonna ask that. Is
Yeah.
there already interest in it? Like,
Oh, it's an unbelievable interest.
okay,
It's interest that we didn't even like. I'm announcing this now, and you know we made the decision probably a couple weeks ago to announce it as soon as we can because of the Netflix thing that came out with Squid Games, and they're
Yes.
doing a competition for
Yeah, I
$4.5
just saw
million,
that.
right?
Yeah.
And I had this idea for way before that because I had come back home to just be like, "Yo, Vin, I want to come talk to you about an idea that I have, and I think it's going to work." And that was like 2
that's
months ago.
important though. That is important to have like people in your corner. Like, yo, bro, am I bugging?
I know he's going to tell me the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
The first time you came to my apartment, we sat there for what, 9-10 hours, and we worked out so many fucking things.
Yep.
But since then, it's been a month and a half, and every day it's something new. We're coming up with new ideas.
That's
We're
amazing.
changing. The original idea has come so far
Yeah,
since
it's
then.
morphed so much.
because we're not afraid to sort of change, and,
Yep.
and we're going to do what we have to do. Like baseball, there's nothing they could do to make that exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
There's so many things. They've
They're so
had
far
100
gone.
years of history. They
Yeah.
can't adapt to today.
going on.
So we're going to have basically we're going to take the fans, we're going to take their opinions, we're going to take what's working and
Give it
further
back to
it. If it's not working, we'll replace it with
See ya.
something else.
Yeah.
That was my question as well.
Yeah.
If you see something that's really not working, like,
Bye.
Yeah.
all right,
A sport, a particular,
Bye.
exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
And the thing is that you have to remember, I really want to drive this home. That at the end of the day, we are a competition platform. I want to be the gold standard for competition across the entire world.
Yeah.
And we don't have to be an American sport. And we're not going to be an American sport. We're going to be a worldwide sport because we're going to be able to take applications for this across the entire world.
I was
Yeah.
gonna ask that. How are you picking athletes? Okay, how you? All right.
So for the amateur league, the first year is going to be the amateur league, basically to build up to the pro league. So we figured that to sort of even it out, we're going to do a sneakers app type thing. We authorize your card. You put in all your information. We authorize your card. If you get picked, we'll do it completely randomly. You get picked, we charge your card, and you're in. couple weeks in advance. Obviously, you're going to have to get physicals, medicals, things like that. Make sure everything's above
Sure you
board.
could play.
A month in advance. It looks like
Exactly.
we're going to do 18 to 60 is going to be our range.
Okay.
18 years old till 60 years old.
Okay.
But yeah, we
That
want
works
to
for
keep
sure.
everybody gets a chance. It's going to be completely random.
That's dope because you give the 56-year-old a chance to like, yo, bro, I
And,
can
it
compete.
definitely can happen.
And there's people in shape that
Exactly.
don't get that chance because of their
100%.
fucking age
Exactly.
number.
And
Like,
back to John's point, we're not going to we're gonna make sure that all these people have an equal chance.
Yeah.
You know, the amateur league is always going to be random, and it's going to be for each sport. So
Okay.
that's how we're going to be able to grow it, and then grow into the pro league.
Okay.
One
I wanna give
rule
this a
we're going to
shot.
have is that there's going to be no pro athletes in this league.
Even if he had like 1 year and he
Doesn't
like
matter.
flamed out, doesn't
Yeah.
matter. As
No.
long as he played in the NBA.
When you play
Sorry,
pro
Sham
sports?
God.
What?
I said sorry, Sham God.
Sam God, yeah.
Exactly. No pro athletes are going to be allowed in this league.
Right.
Yeah. So
pro meaning pro level. Could you be like, I don't know, development league?
Or even, I'll let you answer that.
You
for a
mean the
second.
G League?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, see, those are the questions that we're going to have to shake out.
Yeah, yeah. I get
Because
that. I hear you.
as it comes along.
Honestly, at this point, the answer is no. We're not going to allow G League people in.
We really want to give the people who never had the chance,
Correct.
who got held down because of, like Chris said, he wasn't good at school, so he couldn't progress in his athletic career because he wasn't good at school.
Yeah, regardless of your skill level, they were just like,
Right.
sorry, bro, you don't have the, I guess, the accolades.
I
to
never
get
even
here.
had a real coach in my life.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I
what
hear
I'm
you.
saying.
Some athletes made
People
stupid
can-
mistakes when they were younger,
Right.
and now they're they're different people.
But
You're giving them an opportunity. So I'm sure they have a good story
growing up,
about
the
it.
guys who can pay for the best coaching, the best equipment, the best practice time, they're a lot of times they're the guys who make it, and we want to sort of give everyone
Even
a
the playing
chance.
field a little
Yeah.
bit.
Right.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense.
And that's
yeah.
exactly that's the real heart point of all this is that to give the regular guy a shot.
Exactly, yeah.
That really
Makes
is what
perfect
this
sense.
is about. Give the regular guy a shot, and I want to watch real competition on TV. I don't want to see any business involved. Anybody sitting down on the bench not playing. I want you to play every fucking day. I want you to play your heart out every day. If you put me in a one-on-one basketball one-on-one competition in this league that we're launching up now, if you put me, I will die on that court.
Yeah.
Before I lose, you're gonna have to bring me up on my fucking ankles before I lose.
True.
If there's going to be $100,000 at least. Like,
Exactly.
Our starting prizes weekly is going to be $100,000 for the winner of a one-on-one basketball tournament with 512 people, random.
Plus, each round that you win, each game that you win, you're going to be taking in 1% of the betting.
I was gonna ask right now, is there
of the
any-
bets that come in.
Okay, perfect.
So basically, you win one round, you're getting paid.
So it's consolation prizes in a way,
Right.
in that
So will the
sense.
contestants have like steady contracts, or is
Not
this going to be
amateur.
something not amateur? Okay, but your pro guys will.
The pro guys will.
Okay.
Yeah, because the pro guys will be making steady money. And the best thing about this whole idea, in my opinion, is that the amateurs is going to be exciting the way it is, right? Like imagine
Well,
watching. real
I actually
people.
think that like if you see the common guy that can relate to you more, and you see these
Yes.
two guys going at it to play ball, pause.
Yeah.
Like, yo, think about it.
Yeah.
Like that's entertaining
Of
as
course.
fuck, right? You know what I mean?
And in a
So-
pool of so many people, you're gonna find someone who looks like us
Oh, for
and is
sure.
really, really good.
Yeah.
And
You're
that's
gonna find
that's
that.
like a,
you're gonna
a
find that
star type-
heartfelt story that you
Exactly.
wanna
That's what I
root
mean.
for. Like, yo, I
A
want to root for
fucking
this
dad
guy.
of three
Yes.
that just I couldn't cut it because I had to raise his kid, bro.
Exactly.
But guess
But
what?
I want
I'm
a
still in
shot.
shape.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm jacked up. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we live for. You know what I mean? Like that's the cool part about what we're doing is we're gonna give people a chance.
Yeah.
And that's all it's about.
You know who's gonna watch the most? The people that try out, like the contestants.
Right?
That's gonna be
That's
like
true.
your main demographic.
100%.
That's very true.
100%. And honestly, that would be us. Like I guarantee you, every single person that's sitting here, including the people at the bar, are the people that are going to be the ones trying to get into the league and applying for the league, and then also watching the league, and then also spending all their money betting on the league.
Yeah.
Like that's
Kevin.
mostly Kevin. Yeah.
That's what you had in mind, right? That's
Who
what
we're
you had
talking
in mind,
about?
right?
That's the whale. That's the whale.
I don't want to say it, but like, we'll be flying him out. We'll be flying him out. Like, oh, you sure you want to come tonight? You sure you want to come?
He's gonna keep you guys in business in the first 5 years
Oh,
by
100%,
himself.
Let me ask you this: you mentioned on TV. Where will it be, bro? Will it be a TV thing? Will it be an internet thing? Will
Yeah,
it,
so
will it be
the world has become
your own network.
Yeah, the world has become a streaming world. So,
Okay.
At first, my first thought to make sure we can get national distribution is to link on to a big production company where we can first, because remember the first year is going to be the first only amateurs, which is going to be 8 to 4, and we could take those 8 hours and put it on a national network, and that's the best idea for us. But the real goal is to have a 24-hour streaming network that you can watch on your phone and bet on your phone while you're watching, and it's our own network.
Like live betting, I love that.
Right, and that's going to happen. It will happen 100%. But if we can partner with a TV station or a TV network, it just benefits us more at the beginning.
Of course, exposure.
Right, because we can gain customers and really just show people. Because once people see this, it's going to be like wildfire.
And you already know how to develop, like you said, your marketing comes to you naturally. You know what's what.
I can
create that groundwork.
And it's going to be pretty easy. It's a concept that is needed. And if you can give people real competition, where you see it, and these people are really trying. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to get into it. You know? And I know, and there's a reason why March Madness is the #1 watch sport in the entire United States at the time.
That point you said right now, exactly. You said it before, and it's exactly like this. March Madness, people just play their heart out.
Exactly.
I mean, they get more viewers than professional players who brand themselves.
Else.
Exactly. Yeah.
They got nothing
exactly.
else. And I just want to make it.
Yeah.
And now I'm giving, we're going to be able to give those people a shot at being a pro athlete.
Yeah.
And our second year, we're going to be able to have our pro league. And how the pro league is going to work is that those 8 sports that we talked about, they're going to each one of the athletes that win. We're going to pick the top 500 from our first year, and they're all going to become pro, in men and women. And in that pro league, those are the athletes that are going to have to compete in every single one of those sports.
Okay.
So you're not going to have to just be good at one. You have to be good at them all.
Yeah.
So we talk about the best athletes in the world, and obviously LeBron James is a specimen, right? Yeah. But is he going to be good at cornhole? I don't know. Is he going to be good at beach volleyball? Probably.
So you have to compete every sport to be crowned the best athlete.
In the pro level.
League,
yes. The pro level.
In the pro level, yeah. The pro
which
level.
is going to be the league that we're going to be able to create fandom for, which you're going to be able to follow, and the bottom 15% of the league is going to be washed out and put back in with the amateurs every year. So you have to stay good.
Yeah.
There's no contract that I get for $300 million and I can fucking sit pretty.
Cool, so it's going to be something like tennis, where like in year 2, 3, you're going to have like this guy's the #1 ranked player in the world, right? You're going to keep it like that?
It's kind of going to be like if you watch soccer, like the English Premier League, basically there's 20 teams. The bottom 3 teams every year get relegated down to the lower league, and they lose hundreds of millions of dollars because of the TV contracts.
So they're not trying to lose. They're not trying to throw games. Right. Yeah, where in the NBA it's encouraged to throw games.
Right. So if you're in the bottom 10 or 15% of the pro league, you're going to have to fight because your contract's gone. If you're in the you're out.
Yeah. And these pro athletes are making that still 1% of every match they win. Yeah. So they're going to be able to make $150,000 a week.
And make a living.
Easy. And these prizes at the end will just grow with the league.
Yeah.
Right. I can almost guarantee you that eventually those prizes at the end of the week, every week will be $1 million.
Yeah.
For a cornhole event. Imagine that shit.
That's money that people who've ever played cornhole have never even thought of. Yeah,
grand.
exactly.
They haven't seen $50,000.
Yes, exactly.
But so I watch cornhole on TV. I'm like, if I practice, I could do this.
Exactly.
Honestly, that's impressive itself. No, that's impressive that you watch cornhole on TV. That's the more impressive part.
I like the competition.
No, really.
He said he watched it. He said he watched the whole thing.
Okay.
But to John's point earlier, he said this in that like he said that I want to watch the regular guy do this.
Yeah.
Because we think we can do it.
For sure.
And I personally believe that people love cornhole because it's so simple that we can do it. And we're sitting at home. And we're just watching ESPN at 4 o'clock in the morning because we're degenerates. And we're just sitting there watching and be like, yo, I can do this shit.
Yeah.
But we don't turn it off. And we just keep watching.
Yeah.
And imagine if there's all these other sports you have the option of watching of the same idea. Like, yo, this guy's just like me. I can do what this guy does.
Sure.
And that's automatically going to attract you. And that's just the amateur league. And that was what I started with. My first idea was the amateur league. It developed. That's why he said that when we talked this out, we talked out into a pro league because he's like, how are we going to create, a following and entertainment and fandom? And we're like, I want to see what this guy from Queens did. I want to see what this guy from California did. And these athletes are going to gain a following, and people from California are going to get behind the guy from California.
Yeah.
And if there's a guy from Queens in this shit, we're going to go to the bar and watch him on the championship week at the end of the year and be like, yo, I want this guy to win. And we're going to sit there and do the same thing that we do for the Knicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that kind of fandom is what we'll be able to create in our pro league, and maybe he'll be able to do it for 20 years, or maybe he'll be able to do it for 2.
Will you guys allow your athletes to take endorsements from Nike wants to sponsor them and stuff like that? Is that
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes, we will. That
But
doesn't affect us at all.
Commercial for something?
Yeah. Do you want to take as much as endorsements? I don't care. Now, I don't know if we're going to let them use.
That's another question. Like, you let them wear your jersey.
Right. It's going to be our jersey. Yeah. Maybe they can wear their shoes, or maybe they can wear, or if they endorse them, we'll put a patch on.
Yeah.
I am for to make these people money because most of our athletes that are going to be, actually all of our athletes that are going to be involved in this, never had a shot before. I want them to make as much money as possible. Yeah. And one day, if they tear their ACL and they go out and they can't make the top 15%, maybe they won't make the money anymore. No. And my goal here is to be able to create something that I never had for myself. Right. And that's truly how the idea came in. Because when I retired, I thought about it, and this is not a joke. I thought about trying to train to be in the MLB again. I was really good before. I never had the opportunity to have a coach to tell me what to do. Yeah. And I'm in decent enough shape, and I have a lot of athlete friends, and they're no different than us. Yeah. All these major athletes, they're no different than us.
That's a big point you made the other day that I didn't really take into account. Like when you were like, I know some of these guys. Like I know what their dietary ways are and what they do every day, and like
I know who they are. Yeah. And I got to tell you, they are just like us. They are just like us. Now, not all of them had the best coaching, and that's how I did it. Some of them made it out the gutter. Yeah. They did, and I don't take that away from them, but a lot of them didn't. But imagine how many of me's there are out there.
Of course.
I didn't even have a shot just because I wasn't good at school. And obviously, not being good at school didn't affect me in life. You know what I mean? So that's just an ignorant way to hold me down.
Yeah, I can imagine how you feel about school. You said that before, but I can only imagine.
Right now,
you all of this stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Now you can really understand how it really affected me and how my negative thoughts against it. Now, a specialty thing, like I said, I'm not getting into it. Yeah. But
next time.
Next time. But the athletic part of it really resonates with me, where I know if I had good coaching, I would have had a shot at doing something. And all I wanted was a shot. And I truly never got one. So that kind of pushed me to do something like this, and paired with watching this bullshit sports we watch every day, where the actual content we watch on TV sucks. Yeah. It's so boring. And nobody ever watches it.
LeBron's an actor compared to Jordan.
Exactly. It's just it's not even watchable. It's crazy. Man. Like load management is just a joke.
No, I agree with that. You know what? Honestly, though, one of the reasons that people I feel that they love Steph Curry is because Steph Curry is a guy who's a smaller guy. Yeah. Shoots all over the court. So it's like
because he could be you.
Exactly. And everyone's idea of what you could be.
Right. And that's what I was telling John. Like John wants to watch that guy that it could be him playing a sport.
It's easy to root for him.
Vin says like that cornhole guy could be me. I could be that guy. Yeah. And that's what I really feel like our fans and our consumers are going to be able to really attach with.
See 4 motherfuckers getting hammered playing beer pong.
Right? I was going to say beer pong was my favorite one of all of those that you mentioned.
I know, and it's going to be cool because there's going to be strategy in that too, because we're not going to make people drink. Okay, so we're going to let them, they're going to be able to pick. So the tough guys are going to drink. Yeah. And the guys that aren't going to, there's going to be sober guys. There's going to be this guy. There's going to be that guy. And they're not going to drink. Yeah. But we're okay. Either way, we're okay with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
there's some people that drinking helps their dexterity. Like, they need to drink.
Yeah. And that's an idea. When we originally thought it, we're like, all right, beer pong. And then John, last time we were here, brought up a good point. He's like, what about the guys who don't drink? What about the guys who are recovering alcoholics? And we're like, oh, shit. On the way home, we're like, what the fuck are we going to do?
Old duels it is.
Yo, I got to tell you, John, on the way home, I was looking at it and I was like, how the fuck didn't we think of that? I thought of everything. And we talked about 10 hours? That was one time. We're talking about 100 hours we talked about this.
Because you spoke to the wrong Chetty, that's why.
100%. I was talking about betting the whole time. That was the problem. That was the problem.
All we heard was the line. How are we going to set the line? What I want to get to that, how are you going to set, like, because betting's going to be a big part of this, how are you going to set the lines as far as, like, this athlete against this athlete. Like, it was a one-on-one game.
And,
right. And you see, like, me playing Josh. I'm going to bust Josh ass. How are you going to... But so how do you set that?
Maybe
you set it on physical... Look how they stick together.
Good shit. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, but so how would you set a line on an amateur?
So the best part about what we're doing is we're using the parimutuel style, which is the horse racing style of betting. And because of that, we're able to use that business plan,
right,
and attach it to our league. And the betting and the odds move with the amount of money that gets bet on per person. Okay. So it'll all start flat, and then the consumer is going to tell everybody else how the odds move.
But are you going to release like the guy, like say it's a guy that's 6'6" against a guy who's playing against 5'10"? You may be like, all right, well, this guy probably has a better opportunity, chance to beat.
And that's the best part.
Are you guys going to leak that out to make to?
The best part about this is the matches will get decided on the same day. So the matches will get. So there's 512 people. It's weekly. Remember, the 512 people. It's weekly. Well, there'll be a card that comes out that same day on the Monday
Okay.
of, let's say, the first tournament is 1-on-1 basketball.
Right, like the lineup. Right, okay.
Right. So the same way you get a scorecard of the horse races every day, on Monday morning you'll get a card of all the athletes and the matchups that are going on for that day, and they'll change as it goes depending on who wins.
Okay.
And we don't know exactly what we're gonna address. Like we're gonna do height, weight,
of course.
ethnicity, where they're from,
yeah.
like all that stuff we're gonna put there. I mean, and that stuff we'll add as we go because we'll never know until the consumer tells us what's going to be the best stuff to release.
What's important.
Right. Which is what he talked about before, is that the best part about this is that we don't have to worry about the history of our league. We can tailor this to what makes sense.
Very, very true.
Which, in baseball, why are there still umpires? It doesn't make any sense. They keep them around because they need jobs. And they don't want to fire them all.
Yeah.
It's ignorant.
Makes no sense with AI.
We don't have to
with all
worry
that
about
shit.
No,
man.
I agree.
Right. We don't have to worry about that. So with this, we're going to be able to pivot very simply. And because of that aspect, and I made this the same point yesterday to his family, is that you see me and Vin in one-on-one basketball, you're going to pick me because I'm taller. And that's really it. But
Vin's on the sideline.
But what if I'm a bodybuilder?
Yeah.
What if, and I can't
Yeah,
move?
what if he's not?
But
He's
I
not,
can't
he has
move.
no coordination or something
Right.
like that.
What if he's white chocolate and I'm a bodybuilder and I can't move?
Yeah.
Don't bet on him because he's black. He could win basketball.
Exactly.
100%.
Like the office. Like the office.
Exactly. So but this is going to happen, and what's going to happen? The odds are going to move. And the best thing about
I don't know, man. If there's 3 Ramirez on a wiffle ball team, I ain't going for that team. 1,000%.
That's because you know, though.
Yes,
That's because you know.
No, I'm not stupid. I'm trying to win.
I'm putting my money over there. If I lose, I made the right pick.
The shortstop and second baseman both Ramirez.
Yeah. I'm making that 10 out of 10 times.
Exactly. 100%. So the best part about this is that all that is going to happen, and there's going to be those big spreads. And in horse racing, the favorite only wins 33% of the time, which is why you can actually finally win big on a horse
That's
race.
the excitement, though.
Right?
When your horse comes in.
Yeah, you can actually win on the long shot.
Yeah.
In our league, it's going to be the same. The long shot's going to win once in a while. Not once in a while. It's going to win consistently.
Of course.
Not like in baseball, the favorite wins.
Yeah.
80% of the time.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen with us. No. And all these big, and the perfect example of that is all these big FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM, they all promote the winners of these big parlays that are plus 1,000, plus 1,200, $10 to win, $100,000. That's what they promote because that's what gets people in the door. It's like, I can win that.
Right.
Right? But we're going to be able to show them that this happens every week. Like our underdogs win every week.
Yeah.
That's real money that you win. You bet $100 on the plus 500 guy. That's that's $500 that you win for the same $100 that you're trying to make the Yankees beat the Red Sox.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that idea is just something that has never been done before. And that's where we know we're going to own the market in the sports betting aspect. And the best part about it is because we're doing pari-mutuel, nobody else can, like DraftKings and FanDuel, they can't have odds on us because we control the odds because the odds move by how much money people bet.
Yeah.
And we don't have to show those odds in public.
Got you.
And that's why horse racing, you can't bet it anywhere else legally but TVG.
Yeah.
Or FanDuel because FanDuel and TVG are owned by the same company.
Okay.
So that's why we're able to control that, which is paramount to anything else. We're going to be able to own.
Of course, yeah.
We're going to be able to own the ad revenue for the streaming because we're not going to be the NFL and sell it to CBS for $7 billion. We're going to own it ourselves and make our own $7 billion.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to own our sports betting. We're going to be able to own it all. So that's the reason why we're going to be able to pay the women athletes more than anybody else in the entire world. Because the WNBA doesn't get paid their money, the money that they should get paid, because the TV ratings aren't as high as they should be. And they all make their money off TV ratings. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Which is why we're going to be the number one sport for women in the median of money. So our sport is going to be by far, I would say by a couple $100,000 a year, our pro women athletes will make more than the WNBA, tennis, golf, across the board. I truly believe in 5 years, people will be making a choice to go to the WNBA.
Well, that was the question.
Or
That was
go
my
into
next
war.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my
Think
next
about
question.
that.
Like,
Think how crazy that thing
you think someone's going to actually, your goal should be for to have one of those ladies actually trained to be in war as opposed to being
Not
in,
ladies. It's going to be the rest. It's going to be high school kids are going to be trained to be in World Athletics.
I mean,
Right.
things are changing in that direction right now anyway.
Yeah.
People are obviously...
They should be.
Exactly.
It's
A
not
lot
quick-
more
it's not quick
independent than
enough.
just doing things for their own, like,
Right.
playing overseas to make money, a contract, you know.
They play overseas instead of going to the NCAA.
Exactly,
and stuff like
yeah.
that. So they try to
way more
get-
common
get-
nowadays.
yeah.
So
people are making the right decision.
Yeah.
They're realizing the schools and everything.
For themselves,
Yeah.
right? Huh?
100%.
They've been told basically to make this move, to go down this path, and then they're going to have.
And I got to tell you, when we were growing up, we didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
But now they do, which is nice.
Exactly. I agree.
And now we want to give them one more choice. And that's what I really think we can change the dynamic in professional sports.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask that, like, what's next for you? But I see this is your next. This is your
Absolutely.
everything. This is
This is it.
where do you see, the league in the next 10 years?
I think that we can stand next to the biggest leagues in the United States and hopefully the world. Maybe the next 10 years, the world. The next 5 years, we'll be able to at least get noticed in the United States with the big four.
Yeah.
And in the next 10 years, my goal is to be noticed in the world for, soccer, cricket, all these big sports. Because at the end of the day, if you think about it, we're actually going to crown the real best athlete in the world. And, I mean, the Olympics do a horrible job because who the fuck does the luge anymore? And at the end of the day, also, there's figure skating where you put fucking 6,
Yeah.
7.
Someone's judging.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
None of
Yeah.
our
And
sports are going to have judges.
And that's a big
Yeah.
part of our league is that
Right.
that nothing we're going to do is going to be involved judging.
Yeah.
It's going to be a winner and a loser.
Those are right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
It's going to be clear. It's going to be quick.
Definitive.
It's going to be exciting.
Yep.
And one guy wins, one
guy
woman
loses.
wins,
That's
and
it.
one loses.
That's amazing, man.
And because of that, we're
I like the fact that you said it's going to be quick and just efficient. It
That's-
kind of is like
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like
yeah.
half an hour game,
20 to
45
30
minutes.
minutes,
Exactly. Oh, even less. Exactly.
The
Yeah.
attention span for humans now, it's just
15
it's,
seconds.
Yeah, I agree.
you
I mean,
know,
that's across
so-
the board. Even in music is like
Yeah,
that. They
so-
shorten the.
So now
but
you know if I
music
can
That makes you want to watch it
Exactly,
even more
If I
now.
could get into war contests before I head out for the night or something, that's dope. As opposed to watching 3 innings of the Yankee game and the shit is still on when you come back. You know what I mean?
Of course. Yeah, 1,000% right.
You ever seen a Red Sox Yankee game?
Oh,
Shit is
my
like 4
God.
hours, right? So,
right. Yeah. No, I agree.
yeah,
For sure.
So that's
And that's the
all.
aspect.
Pitching
like-
changes like 10 minutes.
I hate to say it, but like at the end of the day, the way we grew up, we're all degenerates. We'll stay up until 5 o'clock in the morning watching sports.
1,000%.
But imagine you have your phone in your hand and you're able to bet on what's going on. We're all gonna do it.
Yeah.
I hate to tell you, no matter who
Especially
you
at a
are.
wedding,
Most
at
definitely.
mass,
Yeah.
and things like that. You're just like,
I'm at the movies.
At all the wrong places. big
Exactly,
time.
yeah. You're at a wedding. I don't want to fucking be here. Like, let me.
He's playing on ending so many marriages.
For sure. I'm lucky.
Hey, we don't
Yeah,
do it.
exactly.
I'm lucky.
That'd be a
Yeah.
great
Date-
thing. That'd be a
date
great
night.
result.
Let me pop up beach volleyball real quick. Let me see what's going on
I'm that
here.
guy.
You know what I mean?
I'm that guy taking up your time.
Exactly. But and I got to tell you, you think that we're alone here?
Yeah.
The rest of the world is the same way.
nah,
Yeah.
1,000%.
Like, and that goes back to like when you get out the hood, it's the same shit because everybody else around the world is the same person as us.
Yeah.
These professional athletes are just like us.
Yeah.
It's just like us. The rest of the world is just like us. So what our sample size is that we all know is true. Listen. I think that we can all talk about it together here. That we would love to watch something like this. Not even a question.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Not even a question. And I know that, and that's why we're doing this. But what I also think is that the rest of the world is just like us, and there's people that aren't, but it's this big.
Yeah, I agree.
No,
with you.
1,000%.
Because most of the world is middle class, and we're all middle class.
I could already see where it could expand into even other sports once it takes that international.
Things you haven't
thing,
even thought
and
about. Or we haven't thought about as a group, you
You'll
know what I
take
mean?
and pick,
Obviously,
like, you know
And
what,
that's
this
the
isn't
thing.
working.
The best
Here we
part
go.
about all of this is that we don't have rules. Like we can make up our own games. One of our coolest games is going to be with a soccer shootout where the person shooting out. The person shooting at the goalie is going to switch with the goalie.
Yeah.
And they're going to play each other.
That's like real one-on-one.
That's
Yeah,
real.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
real
It's like
life.
street ball 101. Yeah, exactly.
Cristiano
And
Ronaldo
they're
is not going to be the goalie
and they're
ever in his
gonna talk-
life.
And they're going to talk shit to
Yeah.
each other, too.
Oh,
You know what I
100%.
mean? And that's going to be the catch.
And
You know
we're
what I mean?
and
Yeah.
we're going to mic
One-on-one
everybody
basketball?
up. And we're micing everybody
Yeah,
up.
see, that was going to
We're micing everybody up. And we're going to put announcers that have no fucking there's no filter. No filter because we're going to own our network.
I think that's big too.
Yeah.
100%.
They haven't had announced.
Imagine if we announced the game.
standard exactly. Like, this dude fucking sucks.
And guess what? Wow.
Because to the superstar athlete, you have to pander
Yeah,
to
you
them.
got one right
have to
here.
say,
Right.
Yeah,
You got an
exactly.
announcer, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm ready.
This guy would be better with one leg. Well, what are we doing here? But these are the things that that they
For
can't
sure.
say in the public. They can't say. You know what I mean? But we can say what the fuck we want.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And like I said, there's a lot more people out there than that like us. Than
I
we
agree.
think. And honestly, Barstool is a great example of that.
Yeah.
Barstool is made for the regular fan.
Yeah.
And Dave did a great job with this, and And he noticed that, and he just was himself.
Yeah.
And he's just like, this is who I am, and this is what I like. And if you don't like it, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And it worked, right?
Yeah.
And he wasn't able to make real money until sports betting was legal.
Yeah.
So I have a spin on that to have a business plan behind something that I believe in with competition. So
Vinny, you're gonna get a 5'3" guy that gets selected. And somebody's gonna say he has a fucking bot. That's how he got through to this shit.
People gonna be complaining.
I don't know how we're gonna fight that.
But I'm saying,
that guy last
but
week.
that's
He
the
called
yeah
him.
right.
What the fuck is he back?
But that's when you're gonna have that announcer say, "Who the fuck is this guy?
Wait a second.
How did he get through?" Now this sounds awesome, Chris. Good luck with this, man. This
Yeah,
is gonna be
that's amazing.
It's
It sounds
thank
great.
you.
It does
This
sound
is
great.
like
We
this is
want to
kind of
be
the first time you're talking about
early
this, right?
investors.
Website.
Yeah.
We're really excited.
Okay.
We're really excited. So you can find us, theworldathleticring.com.
Right.
It'll be launched.
Okay.
It's going to be launched tonight. And Instagram, same thing. We'll have our coming soon up.
I love this, man. Yo,
on the website, we'll have a link for the athletes to be able to at least post their name, where they're from, and I also want them to tell us what sport they want us to do.
Okay. When do you plan on launching?
So the least
Ideally.
I'm talking about the worst case scenario will be Q2 of 2023.
Awesome. Okay.
Will be our first.
So that's pretty fucking close, bro.
That is.
I'm over
before
here.
you know it.
Before you know it, it's gonna be
No,
here.
before
Wow.
you know it, exactly. And
Yeah.
we're very far along in this. I've when I came back to New York, it was about 3 months ago, and I already had put probably 1,000 hours in myself.
Yeah, we know you can't disclose certain things, but
I can disclose. Yeah, I can't disclose who I'm talking about it with, but they're the biggest production, the biggest networks, and the biggest sports betting apps in the entire world.
love it.
They're already interested, and they're actually very interested because not only does this provide real content, but it provides a real competition.
Yeah.
And they also agree. This might be controversial, but they also agree that competition is really, been taken out of sports for business.
Of course.
And
Listen,
it wasn't easy. And honestly, I thought it was going to be hard for me to pitch them, but it wasn't, because right when I said it, they were like shaking their head yes.
Listen, you said everybody, the majority of people in this world have the same idea of what's going on in sports. Like
Yeah.
you feel the same way about it.
They're even talking about ESPN. I was watching Around
Yeah.
the Horn the other day, and I forget which guy it was, and he was saying that that the super leagues in college football are becoming a business instead of becoming what we all love
course,
about
yeah.
college
Yeah.
football.
And that was like the last
That just happened.
last frontier of
Right.
actual competitive sports.
The only
really,
thing we
right?
got left is college basketball, but even so,
That's changed.
The one and dones are kind of.
It's about to change, and it's about to change even
and
more.
NIL
obviously,
and
you
NIL
know?
really changed it all, because
Yeah.
now they're paying these kids $10 million before they get in the league.
Exactly.
So I truly believe that this is going to be the forefront of what can be forever. And imagine the Olympics were made to crown a real athlete, but they don't. And we all know they don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could all agree.
Except for Kurt Angle.
Nobody plays. No, but you see, but he's talking about like the
No Kurt Angle,
triathlon,
no.
like a lot of that stuff. Like no one really does that. You know,
Yeah,
what I mean?
no,
But
for
people
sure.
actually
Pole
play
vaulting.
ball.
For sure.
You know what I mean? That's
Those
a
guys
real-
literally training for that particular
that-
thing, and it's like,
Usain
I don't
Bolt
mean,
runs
yeah.
fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he's the Usain Bolt, Michael Phelps, all these guys. There's like Simone Biles, singular people in their events that do one thing.
She don't got handle.
Yeah.
Right, but
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Not that
She
we
can't
know
play ball.
of.
Don't talk about Simone Biles.
Maybe
She's
she had to
Is
be
she the
put
one
in
who
that
quit
position.
national?
Oh, there you go. Actually, you know what?
Simone Biles.
You know what? You're right. You're right. She
Yeah.
never got that shot to show. Maybe she doesn't have
Exactly.
handle.
Maybe
Maybe,
she is
maybe
nasty.
she's windmilling it
Maybe-
on something.
maybe she's
she
nasty.
can jump out the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
but we don't know.
Yeah.
So let's find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's find out. These athletes are athletes.
like
Because we
it.
call LeBron, we call, Calvin Ridley. I'm sorry, Calvin Johnson. We call all these athletes like sick
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking
specimens.
natures. Yeah.
But they're doing one thing.
I know Braun can play football, man. You just underestimated
Right.
yourself.
No,
bro.
I agree.
He could.
I think he could.
Yeah,
Deion
they-
Sanders, they can do it. But we don't get to see it.
But you never get to
there's
see
no,
LeBron.
there's no incentive for it.
And you never,
Oh, yeah.
and you never get to see LeBron play beer pong, which
Right.
I'm pretty sure
Exactly.
he may not be good at that. He might embarrass himself in beer
I
pong.
actually think he won't be.
He might
His
overshoot.
coordination
He
will be
might.
off,
He
bro.
might show. Yeah, he might overshoot. a little bit.
But that's
They-
the
They're
point.
still mad LeBron.
No, I agree.
come to the
That's
Knicks.
amazing.
They're still.
And that's the point of this. And I hope that well, I don't hope. I know that over the years this is going to grow and really, really refine itself to be because the 8 things that we pick now, I know they're going to change, and he knows they're going to change. But we're okay with that. We're okay. We're not going to sit here and think we know it all.
No.
Because you know who's going to tell us? The consumer's going to
Yeah,
tell
right,
us.
right.
And you said
The
you're
athletes
making
are gonna
it. You're
tell
making it international.
The ratings
That's so
will show
big.
you. Okay, well,
The
this is what
athletes are going to tell us what's going to work.
I don't know. One-on-one ain't going nowhere though.
No, for sure.
Everybody wants to see one-on-one.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, the one-on-one's not
It's
going
been a
anyway.
thing.
With the shit talking.
Yeah.
And the best part about all this is that we're going to have ancillary events because we're going to be the gold standard for competition. Period.
Yeah.
So when these celebrities want to play one-on-one, who they going to call?
Yeah.
When Adrian Peterson and Le'Veon Bell, they can fight somewhere else. We're not going to do fighting. I don't want to deal with that shit. But if they want to play cornhole, they're going to call us.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, I was watching ESPN the other day, and they played 2-on-2, Jay Williams and Keyshawn Johnson versus these people in the fucking in the Seaport, right? They would have called us. We could have had it set up in an hour, put a pay-per-view on, and fucking crush the game.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody would have won.
Have real refs, have a real competition, have it all set up within an hour.
Yeah.
There's no
Two Chainz
more.
and Jack Harlow versus Lil Baby and Quavo.
That actually happened?
Yeah, actually happened All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
Right? And
But this is the thing. These challenges go back and forth all day, every day, and we can fulfill the challenges whenever we want. And that's just
wild. Yeah.
and that's just a small. That's a plus that we have just option to do. And we're going to do it.
Yeah.
But that's not even our main idea. That's not our main
Yeah.
money maker.
That's
just something that we can do because of our platform.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because the platform, remember, and I want to make this very clear. Our World Athletic Ring is the competition platform for the entire world. We are the gold standard for real competition, and that is the reason why we will be around for the next 100 years.
I love that.
Yeah,
I like the fact that expansion won't be a problem.
No.
Yeah.
Anything we want to do.
Let's bring it in, bro. Let's bring it in, Chris.
This is
Awesome.
awesome.
I still have.
This is awesome,
Yes.
man.
Thank you for having me. I really
a part
appreciate
of
it.
this.
Thanks for being here, man.
Cheers,
I
man.
appreciate it as well.
I really appreciate
it
this,
as well.
guys.